eyes. It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed in. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of the Progressive News Show. Let's be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Theas, and a heart will be on shortly. Ain't no use doing the good old days of just teasing what the subject was, because the subject has been literally going on all day with different takes, which will be changed tomorrow because people can't help it, and views and commentary. And that's President Biden decided to step down as the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. He has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to replace him. And we already got people talking smack, according to Thea's already talking smack about that. So that didn't even take long. So before we even get started, just one little snippet. So this is Parker coming in saying, "Party time, Biden is done, let's go." Only reason I'm even saying anything about Parker is this has been on maybe 5 minutes after I put the video up that we're going to do this show tonight. So it's been up since 3 o'clock this afternoon. So Parker was real excited. He even emailed me saying, "I told you so." So Parker, here you go. You was right that Biden was going to step down. I'll be the first to let you know I didn't think he was, but it is. That's why I can't be right on everything now. We have Anna coming in saying, welcome to Radical Truth to Power. Please get yourself a nice steep drink. Tickle the like button on your way in. Subscribe if you haven't already and get comfortable. The get comfortable part was right. Parker comes back. Obama said, if you don't drop out, no more ice cream cones for you, Joe. I'll make sure of it. That was good. Parker, that's a cool shirt, Marlon. Thank you very much. I have absolutely no idea where this came from.
Came from your wife. Duh.
Oh, my wife got it. Okay, it came from my wife. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tracy's here. Tracy, the DNC convention is going to be a whole mess, and I'm here for it. So the RNC convention is a whole mess. The DNC convention is going to be a whole mess. So I see that now.
RNC convention wasn't a mess, though.
Hey guys.
It was very well put together. Hey, Anna.
Sorry I'm late.
I'll take your word for it because I didn't watch. I don't watch conventions, so okay. You say so.
I mean, I don't watch conventions either, but I'm just saying that the RNC put together a very disciplined convention, and it was intentionally boring, in my opinion, so that they could, because they know that the American public doesn't pay attention to stuff, so we're like emotionally driven. So they were out there to show that, hey, we're just politicians. We're just here to execute on our agenda, and don't worry about us. Don't be scared. And that was the RNC, you know. But yeah, I don't know. So quick, go with the shorter version. Yeah, the DNC convention is going to be a little interesting, I imagine, perhaps depending upon what they do in the next 2 weeks. But if you do not support the policies, because I'm not going to talk about the people, if you don't support the policies that the Republican Party is presenting for you to deal with, I don't know how you can be happy about the DNC having a messy process. I just don't get that. And then that was for Tracy's comment. And then from Parker's, yep, Biden finally stepped down. Personally, I'm neither here nor there because I don't like any of these people. I'm voting tactically for what is in the best interest of my community and for the communities that I believe in and care about. And the Democratic Party offers less damage than the Republican Party does. Doesn't seem like a very hard call for me. So Biden stepping down, okay. For those who wanted that, I'm neither here nor there on it, y'all. For those who want that, you got it. Now what? Like, did you game plan this out before we got here? Because here we go. You know, we gotta be all in. No more. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell. Well, you don't have to be anything, but here we are.
All right, Hannah, how you doing today? Tonight?
I'm doing all right, thank you. Had a good day with family. Just trying to kind of recover in general.
Oh boy.
Count me among the minority that actually is surprised he did step down. I didn't think he would. Like when people like Obama and all those who make decisions in the party, when they were coming out and defending him the day after, I was like, okay. So
yeah. I think
let's go ahead and get
been on. I'm sorry.
Hold on, Ben. Let's go ahead and get started then. So without further ado.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were. I'm so sorry.
Started.
No, we have not started until you hear this. I apologize for my rookie commentators that's been on this show for darn near 5 years that
I was
knows
like,
get started. But why do I look so high up? Like, or these are you really low?
My camera makes me look low because it's sitting up here.
Okay. Well, let's go
I
ahead
tried
and
to
get
like bring it down, but like the way my monitors and everything is set up, I don't have a good spot, so it's just
Mhm.
whatever.
that's
All right,
fine.
let's get into the subject. Biden stepping down.
In a stunning announcement, President Joe Biden says he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. Posting this letter on social media Sunday, writing in part, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Moments later, endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris, posting on X this photograph next to her, writing, "I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year." Harris responding with a statement of her own, reading in part, "With this selfless and patriotic act, President Biden is doing what he has done throughout his life of service, putting the American people and our country above everything else. I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." This comes amid Biden's disastrous debate performance last month against former President Donald Trump, with many in his own party questioning whether or not the 81-year-old president could serve a second term. Dozens of Democrats in the past few weeks calling for him to end his campaign. This as reaction has been pouring in from both sides of the aisle. Trump reacting and posting on Truth Social, reading in part, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to serve and never was." Former President Barack Obama posting on X, "Joe Biden has been one of America's most consequential presidents, as well as a dear friend and partner to me. Today, we've also been reminded again that he's a patriot of the highest order." Former President Bill Clinton announcing his support for Harris while also blasting Trump, writing in part, "We've lived through many ups and downs, but nothing has made us more worried for our country than the threat posed by a second Trump term." Earlier in the day, House Speaker Mike Johnson warning of legal challenges if Biden is replaced, while also calling for Biden's immediate resignation following his shocking announcement, posting in part, "If Joe Biden is not fit to run for president, he is not fit to serve as president." And the president says he will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about how he came to this decision.
Now you want us to go?
Yeah, y'all can go now.
I'm just waiting on when we were allowed to talk again.
Oh, do that.
And I think, how about you go first, if you would like to?
Well, it was no surprise for me that the Republicans, I counted at least 6 of them, were immediately saying, well, if he can't make it for re-election, he shouldn't be in there at all. He hasn't made the choice. And so it's not really clear to me whether the nomination sort of gets handed down to Kamala or if we are having an open convention. So I don't know. This is uncharted territory. We have never been here before.
Well, I think they did it something like it back in the 60s or something. I don't know. It was something weird. Like they had an open convention.
Really?
I believe so. I could be off.
Okay.
Sure. But they ain't nothing been like this. Like we ain't never had a president like just step back. Like that's not in the way that it's happening. Right. Not in the way that it's happening. We have had a president in the past who decided not to run for another term, but it was earlier in the process and all of that. But so I'm of a couple different minds, right? So first thing I'd say is forget the better late than never talk that people are gonna do. Joe Biden made a decision that so many people were saying he needed to make. It's incredibly noble of him to have made this decision at any time that he made it, because could you imagine making such a decision yourself? I guarantee you couldn't, right? But somehow we expect such heavy decisions from someone else. So I applaud him for doing that. I also would have been fine if he kept running, because we're kind of where we are. So that's that side. Plus, I think that this is a man that has acquitted himself very well, in my opinion, of many of the issues in his past. Because they do like to point out Juanita Hill, whatever her name was, Clarence Thomas' accuser, right?
Anita Hill.
Anita, right? They like to throw that at him, which is a fair criticism. They like to point at the 94 crime bill, which is a fair criticism. And then I'm one of those people who I don't have a lot of forgiveness in me, but I do look at things from a pragmatic standpoint. And I say, okay, he was one of 100 senators, and the push for both of the things I just put out, it wasn't just him, right? He was part of a machine that was churning this along. So I, give him his criticism. He owns that part. And then look at what he's done since then. A man that everyone was calling racist was the backup to the first Black president that this country has ever acknowledged of having. And he did it with respect and distinction. And then when he stepped into the role of president, he brought a Black person with him, right? So, is he perfect? Absolutely not. But of the politicians that I've seen in my adult life, he is arguably the best one that I've seen in the presidency, right? There are all the other criticisms taken into account. Because Obama, there's only so much he could do anyway, because he was a historic figure, and people like to forget the threats and the racism that he was under. He actually had Congress flat out say, we ain't doing nothing for this Black man. Whereas Biden didn't have that. It was just Republicans versus Democrats, traditional logjam stuff. So I give him his flowers, right? Then he's stepping down. And one of the things that's, and I will draw this to a close, that really upsets me, because it always upset me. Kamala was not my choice, just like Biden wasn't my choice. But we have to put that in proper context. Biden wasn't my choice, and Kamala wasn't my choice because Elizabeth Warren was my choice, right? That was for president. So that was my pick. And then Biden, through the democratic process, he becomes the president. Did a much better job than I ever expected him to do at all.
Yes.
At all. Then here we are with Kamala coming on board, and I have nothing against her as being president. Literally nothing. And it's not about identity. It's about her resume, much like Hillary Clinton's resume. I didn't like Hillary for the same ignorant reason a lot of people didn't like Hillary. And I say it was ignorant because, yes, she's not very personable. We know that. But this woman knew her business, and she was an ultimate politician, and she was infinitely more qualified than anybody else, even today, running for president. But because we hate her husband for actually not even really good reasons, but she had to wear that. And so now Kamala is the nominee. And this is what, and you've heard this, I hope, Black people, especially Black women, but Black people, we have all heard this at some point. If you operate in any level of a professional capacity, you've all run into this. We've all run into this. It doesn't matter what your resume is. It doesn't matter what your skill set is. There's always some white person or persons that say, I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if I could see you doing this. Maybe soon, but not now. We've all run into it. And now we're going to hear it in full blast. And that's one of the things that is not going to be properly addressed, because MSNBC won't do it. CNN won't do it. They've already silenced most of the real Black voices on these platforms. We will not get proper exposure on this point. And this is why a lot of Black women and a lot of Black men are apprehensive about Kamala being at the top of the ticket before today, because we really don't want to relive that. We don't want the trauma. It's just like when we see Black people getting murdered on the news and think we don't. When we see it happen to her, it's happening to us, right? Because we know America. We know the racism and the bigotry and the sexism and all that's in there, that because of the dominance group power, they never have to be held to account for it. They can always dodge, you know? But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, Anna. Let you go.
I'm actually still trying to gather up some thoughts about this. Are you going to show Kamala's ad by any chance?
I don't have it, but I can see if I can look it up real quick.
Right. It's a good one. And I mean, she came out swinging way harder than I think Biden ever did. So I was impressed with that. But I know, like, everything that Theus just said, I know that that's going to happen. I know that.
Anna.
Say what?
She's freezing.
Nope. I heard every word she said.
I think you are, Theus. Sorry.
Then I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, y'all.
Earlier during the show, you was going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm on a hotspot tonight, so.
and surprisingly enough, my internet is working really, really good. So we'll see how long that lasts. Don't yay yet.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing her ad on YouTube,
No.
so I may not have it until the next time.
Okay. Basically, she was taking all of the, he is a criminal felon. He is a rapist. He is, and saying, I have all of the experience and knowledge to combat him specifically. I was a DA. I was working with sexual assault. I was in the White House the entire time with Biden. She's taken all of Trump's the big points that we would say about him and given a counter to how she would be effective as a president. I am worried that the same thing is going to happen, if not more, to Kamala that happened to Biden, that happened to Obama, rather. That, the black man gets kind of thrown around into the back room, told exactly what he is going to be allowed to do, what room we will give him to advance his medical want, but other than that, no, they stomped on him. They told him no. What's him to stop? Doing the exact same thing, if not more. to a black woman. It does worry me. It is not a reason that she shouldn't go forward. You know, for all the different replacements out there, giving it over to her it seems the most commonsensical thing. Welcome back, Fierce.
Welcome back.
I hope, because on my side I seem normal, and then it's like then my camera started like we're not here
I know.
right now, and I'm like, what in the world? All right,
I have that too, yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
but no, I agree with you, Anna, 100%, and that's what I'm saying. Like we're gonna move into silly season now, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be all the veiled. It's not even racism; it's racialism, right? It's a slight
What do you
distinction.
mean?
Racism is with malice and usually with aggression, but
Okay.
racialism is just it's that more subtle version, right? This is what's practiced by your so-called allies, where they're not opposed to. I use like a prison analogy. They're not opposed to having better conditions for the inmates, but they stop just short of wanting to get rid of the prisons, right?
Right.
We don't agree with slavery, but a little hard getting rid of it because where will these people go, right? NIMBYism kicks in, and so it's like I'm not opposed to Kamala being the vice president, but I just can't see her being the president, right? And then when you ask them why, because no one ever does, so I don't know what they would say because no one ever asks them.
And would they be honest with themselves that the reason they can't see it is because they have never been pushed to see that? They have never been asked to accept that.
Well, these are the good ones, so they wouldn't process it that way.
Yeah.
It's like calling someone a racist who has black friends. No, I go to church every Sunday with black people. I adopted a black child from Africa, or yeah, that's wonderful. That means you're not one of them virulent, hard ass, racists. But that doesn't mean that you truly see these people as your equals. That's right. The difference. So Kamala, despite all of her accolades, this lady. All right, here's one thing. Here's a quick like test or whatever. Observe that when these people are talking about Kamala on any of these platforms, and they come up with their hesitations, they always go back to her time as a prosecutor or her being from California.
Yeah.
They don't say nothing about the time that she's been a senator, and very little about her being vice president, right? They go back to the police side. And see, okay, I'm with you there, learn life. So like this is one of the reasons why I say after the election, we all switch up our registrations, but you compartmentalize and you work from where you are, right? Thank you, Parker. I don't take jank for much of anything. He's been coasting on the back of his co-hosts and everything for years. But
yeah,
the thing about the Democratic Party, they didn't give us a true primary. We hear that all the time. Okay.
Yeah. True.
What can they do about that now?
When have they ever given us a choice? If you look at it,
it's the way it's structured.
We always have been the least of two. So
And it's not even just the least of two evils. It's literally how the game is played at every level of politics. Every level of politics runs on who's up next. The party
Right.
elites decide out of a box of 64 crayons, they come to you and say, here are your 4 crayons to choose from. It happens
Yep.
every time. So to use that as any part of your argument now is disingenuous because there's nothing we can literally do about that.
Mhm.
Not in any time of short form, probably not ever, so long as we have this 2-party garbage, right? So
Yes.
we can't allow ourselves to get stuck fighting about the facts around the facts, right? Because it's all a distraction. You know, they didn't have a primary, so we got stuck with Joe Biden. Yes, that's true. It's also happened in your rear view at this point. So there's nothing you can do about that now. I'm asking you from here, what do we do next, right? Or we didn't even want Joe Biden to be president. That the Democratic Party elite and the donors orchestrated with Buttigieg and Harris and all the rest of them to bow out so that he could crush Bernie Sanders and go ahead and move on to become the nominee, similar to what they did with Hillary Clinton. Yes, they did. But if you really want to have that discussion, it's a great discussion to have. We've had a version of it before. But in short, the Democratic Party did what they were supposed to do. Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. Bernie Sanders is an independent who caucuses with the Democrats. Therefore, if it's a loyalty test, which is what their process is, you will pick your team before you pick this other guy. So when it came down to their team versus Bernie, their team wins. It's completely logical. So we have to do like Tracy is pushed for, and many of others, we do need to break up the duopoly. But you're not going to do it in this election.
No.
That's not on the table. So what's on the table is most of Trump's cabinet that he has chosen to he's lined up to come in are all felons.
Felons again.
We can write in Bernie or accept that Trump's going to win, or you can do both, because once you write in Bernie, you dilute. I mean, like, okay, first of all, anyway, hey, for real, if at this stage of the game, you still want to write in Bernie, who isn't even asking to be president, if you want to write him in, have a good time, do your thing, because you just have a good time, do that, whatever. At this point, I don't care, but it ain't gonna do nothing. What path to the Electoral College does anyone have other than whoever Kamala puts on the ticket with her and Trump has him and JD Vance? Who else has an Electoral College path in reality, in this version of reality, not one of the megaverse, multiverse, alternate timelines where we all have, saying shoes on our hands. Like, in this world, Electoral College still sitting there. It's the only game in play.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
And we have a big party of centrist Democrats, people that are not paying attention to politics 24/7. They drop in for presidential races, stuff like that, But they are quite happy with the status quo.
And I know I'm not having been paying.
You're never going to go against those numbers.
Yep.
Not like we are right now. That's it.
That's it.
Well,
I mean, that's not
that
all
was
on the subject, but you haven't said anything. You sitting there with a smirk, so
Oh,
right.
no.
pause and let you talk.
I was listening.
You've been very patient, and that, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening. Okay, so let me throw in my 2 cents. One, I'm with Iz on Biden could have came in I mean, Biden could have stayed. Biden could have dropped out. It is what it is. I'm also with this. When he was going to drop out, I wish it was 2 weeks ago. Giving a little bit more time frame, and the time frame I'm even talking about is the silliness. So just go ahead and start burning itself out then and there instead of starting the clock now. Because we are going to go through just a silly period of a bunch of BS. Number two, to talk about the whole. Okay. Stop every candidate that comes up that you have an issue about something that happened in their past. Please go and find somebody who did not have a past that you disliked. Find any candidate. I dare you to go back, find your favorite candidate. And I guarantee you, if I dig deep enough, I can find an issue with them too. Now, you may not think that is the bigger issue because that's your candidate. I, on the other hand, that ain't my problem because I don't think some of the things that y'all talking about with Kamala, who she was a prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what prosecutors do. They do their job. We could talk about Biden and the 1984 crime bill that hit 19 what? Your
94.
94, the 94 crime bill, which his signature was not the only one on there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with just stop the whole, hey, look what I found on Twitter back in 1984. Okay, cool. If you had that much time on your hands, whatever. Number three, stop with the I'm going to make the Democratic Party pay by doing X, Y, Z. No, you're not. We said this last week, or at least I said it last week. You're not. You're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into my real talking point. And that is everything that you said about the past is absolutely true. Biden wasn't our guy. Do I believe a Republican and the Democratic Party, we need to break that up. We need to do something about the college, the electoral college. We need to do something about all of that. I get that. That's great. That's wonderful. However, having said that, what the hell do we do from here on forward? You're still doing here on back. Can't do nothing about the past except learn from it and try to come up with a plan. And there lies the problem because you don't have one. I'm sorry to say this, excuse my language, but I just can't find a better way of saying this. Will you please stop bitching about what happened in the past, and that's why you don't care about the present, which means you're going to F up the future. If you have a plan, please let us hear it. But you telling us what happened in the past and this is why this is going on, that's great, that's wonderful. You're a very smart person. Now what? And every time I get to the part about now what, we start that wheel right back around about what happened in the past. We go right back in a freaking circle. I am telling you, I did not want Biden, but compared to Trump, he was the better candidate. I don't want Kamala, but compared to Trump, she is the better candidate. Period. Point blank. In a discussion. I don't even care about the rest of it. I don't even know why we hold a damn conversation about Bernie. He's not running. He's not in it. He's not. He's not here.
And he'll never run again.
And Trump, maybe, because I do believe that I just saw where Kamala said she wants to earn a nomination. Earn. But okay, you're going to earn it by it being given to you. So let's just skip the middle.
Hold up. Right there.
Yeah,
right
there.
there.
Right. You know what? I didn't think, but you know what? I'm going to listen to you because I didn't think Biden was going to step down. So I'm 0 for whatever this year. So
No. It's just the right there, that imagery you just put, they're going to give it to her. She's going to earn it. That whole thing. She's the vice president of the United States of America. She has already earned it. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if he were to drop dead or get seriously ill, guess who becomes your president? Okay? She doesn't need to earn a blessed thing. And if we say she needs to earn it, what does that truly mean? Because you open up the convention and everybody and their mama comes running down, assuming they would, but the Democratic Party is more disciplined than you think. Okay. The voters, we're all over the place because we're not a united group. We have a lot of different issues and interests. But the elites, they already got this. So there's not going to be a mess. They ain't going to let it be a mess. Okay. But let's say y'all say, hey, she got to earn it. My thing then is like, think about you on the job. Because it hits me hard. It hits me in a very sensitive way. Because I've had this happen on almost every job I've had since I was about 25 years old. What exactly do I have to do to earn it? Because see, if you don't believe in the process, see, part of our issue, progressives, lefties, all of us who sit out there, part of our issue is we don't think the Democratic Party is run properly or fairly. We already know this. We already believe this. So that means if we want to make her run this gamut and run this process, a process we don't even know of, so it would have to be created literally just for this situation, how do you earn it? So just say you don't want her to be the president so that people can turn around and say, why?
Right.
And then stand on your why. Right? Don't. We've gone all this time being better than the other team, right? Because we're decent and we have principles and okay. Well, now it's time for you to stand on that. And if someone asks you why, and all you can give me is your gut feelings, then you're no better than the team that you have been just insulting and deriding for the last 6 years, 8 years, 8 years now. Yeah. So no, stand on it, because that's my thing, right? So I'm not coming at you, Marlon, but it's like that's what I keep hearing these talking heads say. Well, they're just gonna what's the term? And she's gonna become anointed. Anointed, right? She's the vice president. Well, she doesn't be anointed, then she needs to earn it. Earn it? Okay. She followed the rules. They had the primary season that they had.
Okay, one, she said she wants to earn it.
I know, but why did she say it?
Right.
I don't know.
You know why?
Well, because
that's what all the chatter is about.
Because others are saying it.
But I digress. To right here and right now, we're at a pivotal point in all of American history. And we need to put the unnecessary rhetoric, thought, policy, progress, whatever you want to use, to the side. In other words, the stuff that just really ain't going to help us long term.
But that's like saying don't be American.
Hey, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot, because I know, and I'm not even going to sit there and say, let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, I already know what the worst that can happen. And I'm trying to do my damnedest to talk on this show to make sure it doesn't happen. Can you meet me somewhere? I'm really, I'm just speaking for myself, but I know it at a heart, I know at this heart, we are really trying to get you to understand We're trying to stop the worst from happening
So
by
here's the
doing
thing.
something that the Democratic Party and everybody else, all the voters have an issue with doing, and that is focusing.
That sound is back again.
Yeah, that like it's like hands kind of clicking together. I don't know how to explain. It's like a
Yes, yes. Thank you, Officer Johnson.
it might
Just
be
say
something,
hi.
like something around
Every,
this clicking thing.
every
I don't know.
time I start making sense, this dude shows up. I'm sick of you, dude.
But I think a big part of this, and it's a little late in the game, so it is what it is, folks. Sorry. A big part of this is people need to actually talk to people. Okay. Now, as you already heard me say, like the third party people who are talking about, I'm gonna write somebody in, or I'm still gonna follow with Cornell, or I'm gonna follow with what's the other guy name? Kennedy Jr. Right?
Kennedy.
At this point, do what you're gonna do. But I'm saying that the issues I've had with the Democratic Party I've always had with them. Stop blowing smoke at people. Stop talking to people like they're stupid, right? Your process is corrupt. Your process is intentionally geared to give the outcome that wealthy and connected people have decided that we should choose from.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It does no one any good to pretend like that's not happening. Because when you pretend like that's not happening, it gives fuel to the people who are trying to fight from the outside of the system. That was a long speech. I didn't even watch it. I couldn't.
I would tell you this, and I'll let you finish this. I was listening to a correspondent that was talking about Trump's speech and how they're focusing on Trump toning down his normal rhetoric and concentrating on unity. But when the guy said for the first 15 minutes of the speech, he was listening. And then somewhere in the middle, and then I don't know how, and I'm just paraphrasing, and then he got to the 45-minute point. I went 45 minutes?
He spoke for like an hour and a half.
And the last 15 minutes was him doing the unity and everything else. So he said if you take the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes, it was a pretty good speech. He was listening. But in the middle, here come the lies. Here comes the deceit. Here comes the everything that you know Trump for being Trump.
He got bored and he decided to get back to having his rally.
So but I digress. Go ahead. Yes, Tracy. It wasn't 18 minutes, but I don't know how. Was you telling me that you finna talk for
hours?
45, 18 hours. It felt like 18 hours.
It felt like.
But
he was saying that the people there was, they're amped up because that's their guy. There's Trump up there. That's their guy. But you can look at them and just go like, you my man, but bro, I'll be glad when this speech is over.
That's because he took it into the next day. He was still talking and the date changed. You know what I'm saying? He was still talking. But
this would work.
People were tired, man. No, but I think that's something that's one of the reasons why I'm saying at the end of this election, switch your party affiliation. Let's disrupt the game from where we can. Because, like, understand, we sit in the seats. We're in the bleachers. All right? We're not on the field. So the type of leverage we have is different. So I'm saying use the leverage we have. And the people say that they're sick of it. I'm sick of it too. But there's a way to approach being sick of something. You can be a defeatist and just say, I'm done with it, right? Or you could say, I'm going to fight back. And what we need right now is for people to say, I'm going to fight back. And if you're going to fight back, we need to be more organized about what we're doing and not just be lashing out in frustration.
Okay, who did you?
I got a problem with Obama, so I'm just go ahead and put that out there. But yeah, go ahead.
Who did you think was the deciding person who was able to convince Biden to drop out? Obama, Pelosi, Jill Biden, or someone else?
Joe.
Two people.
Joe and Jill.
Obama and Jill. Yep.
I don't think it was Obama. I think it was Joe and Jill. Because so long as, because you gotta understand who the chemistry that makes a Joe Biden. This man has been counted out pretty much his whole life, and yet he keeps coming back and winning. He's lost almost everyone near and dear to him. He's just had to stand by and virtually watch his son get crucified.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very strong, proud man. I'm sorry. So he had to come to the decision. Probably COVID is whooping his butt right now. And assuming he actually has it. But let's say he does. So instead of it just buying time, I don't know. But he had to make this decision because it has to sit well with his soul. And what's going to be really frustrating for him, I know, and I don't even know the man, but I know humanity, people are not going to give him any praise. They're not going to give him the praise he's due. They're not. They're going to say he stayed in too long. He was stubborn. They had to wrestle the keys from grandpa. They're going to do that. They're not going to allow this man to graciously be the elder statesman guiding Kamala in through her the rest of her time. And that is unfortunate, but that's the fickle way that we are. Yeah, it's rough. But what you were touching on a moment ago, Marlon.
Wait, let me say something real quick. Just throw it in, just because we're still on Parker's question. And Parker, when I say this, it is not taking a shot at you. I'm pretty sure that question has been said across many platforms or asked across many platforms. Who do you think decided a person? Who do you think was the deciding person who was able to convince Biden to drop out? My question to you is, what difference does that make? Because he did drop out. So I don't know what we would gain from knowing who was the. I hear it now too. That is.
I wasn't hearing it just then, but
I wasn't hearing it then.
Hey Anna,
Yeah.
listen, let Marlon continue with what you were saying. But Anna, notice how much he sounds like me in this moment.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, he came back. Mm-hmm.
I knew I was sleepy. I knew I should have did the show. But it doesn't make a difference for what is going on here now. And again, like I said, Parker, I'm not taking a shot at you, but let's step away from the Wizard of Oz, don't look behind the curtain situation, because it right now, Biden is out, Kamala and a half is in, or Kama is in. We're trying to get the rest of the law in. So that's where we at. I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean?
Just
Kamala is in. We're trying to get Kamala Harris the rest of the way in. If y'all don't understand that, then okay. I ain't got to make sense. It's Sunday. But let's deal with what we are facing, what we're looking at, what we can see right now. And after that, we'll do the whole after the election, and after everybody decides to go back in and come out, go in Democratic, come out Independent, then we'll discuss. I'm lying.
Well, we won't. But that's because we have the attention span of like drunk gerbils. I'm serious. We just don't.
I do have to say though, I think it's normal for a person to be curious as to who is the person and what is the situation that actually happened around this historic decision. And it's giving Biden a little bit of empathy that he does deserve at this moment. So,
And
I don't know. I didn't have
I'm sorry.
the reaction.
I would agree with you except for one thing, and that is the fact that we have learned the hard way that then we need to wait. If this is an historic event, we need to wait to find out
Mhm.
It's still, the story is still flushing itself out. So we just say,
People won't.
He's just
Yeah.
asking questions, though. I mean,
I get it. It's the reason why. Agree, Tracy. It's funny though when I was saying Marlon was sounding like me because that's my stance in that the decision that you wanted was made. This is what you wanted. You're getting what you wanted, but now you want to know why you're getting what you wanted. It's let it go. You got what you won. You got what you wanted. It does nothing to help you with the movement that you got to do from here to find out if it was his cousin who called him from England and said, out here across the pond, they're saying, it helps us not at all. So this is
I'm
one
not
of the
saying
things.
it's good.
Let this man have his privacy on this. He did what you wanted. He ate a lot of crow to come to this decision.
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
yes.
I don't see any benefit rubbing his face in it, dissecting it, none of that. People should be asking, hey, after old boy got shot in the ear, what did he do at home? Where are his medical records? Where are his eval? We're not doing that because at the end of the day, he survived. Let's move on, right? Like literally, sometimes you gotta take the win. But I'm gonna make my unpopular call here. I'm gonna pivot on you guys. Vice presidential pick.
I do have a poll up on that exact question.
You do? Where?
Yep, I have it.
On YouTube?
Yep, on my YouTube with 5 people coming in so far. Who should replace Joe Biden? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry, not vice president. I said who should replace Joe Biden as the 2024 president.
Oh, okay. So
And
I'm not
Kamala
even
Harris
entertaining.
still at 80%. So with
Yeah.
somebody else at 20%.
Yeah, I won't even entertain someone else being at the top of the ticket. Because let's put it this way. This is my take, and it's gonna sound alarmist. But you're right. He if he had not completely had the worst debate in modern history, then we would have been limping into the next debate, and it'd have been too late, and he would have got wiped there. But so sorry if I sound alarmist, but if they pick someone other than Kamala Harris to be the head of the ticket, the people who were barely about to go vote ain't voting. And as far as women and minorities, because it's one more slap. There's one more slap. Now the diehards are going to show up. They're going to vote because they're trying to do the best they can to save this country. But this is a game of inches, not a game of yards. So they're going to lose that. And then me, I will be moving to make every step I can possibly make to get my family out of this country. I don't, because I can't even pretend to support the Democratic Party anymore if they do that. And I'm saying that right now, live. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm telling you, I'm already so disgusted with how people move here in America. That would be one too many insults. One too many. Because you're saying that the stakes are so high, we have to give America a white man. That's what you're saying. Okay? And any white man will do, because you don't even know who to get. Gavin is the governor of California. If you think Kamala's going to catch hell because she's from California, try being the governor.
Yeah.
All right?
Mhm.
The other two names that they keep floating, I don't even know these people. They're like the
Especially
guy
Whitmer.
Whitmer. They're not going to switch one woman out for another. Not happening.
Oh, I thought she was a name.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's a name. But there's like Doug Burgum. I don't know, he might be the Republican guy. But it is like two guys. One's from Michigan, the governor of Michigan, and I don't know who the other one was.
That
But
was
those
Christian.
no Whitmer. Whitmer is Michigan. Well, anyway, it's two white guys that's a governor.
Okay. Okay.
That people who are really diehard in the party, they know who they are. I don't know. So they don't have the name ID. But they say, well, they can deliver a state. That's not how these elections work anymore. They don't work that way no more. I'm not going to vote for the dude because he's from Georgia. They ain't happening no more. That's over. So, yeah, I'll be trying to get my family out of here. Why can't two women be on the same ticket? Welcome to America.
Because we are in the year
It's gonna be hard enough getting Kamala.
We in the year 2024. You haven't had a woman president yet.
Yeah, they haven't broke that. They ain't broke that ceiling.
And just in case that didn't get through, we're in the year 2024, and we still talking about our one and only black president. We're still breaking ground in America on first ofs. So let us get a woman president before we get an all woman ticket.
And I get where it's going. Like, it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't.
But we know that it is. That's
Mm-hmm.
the entire argument for why they're talking about switching Kamala for somebody else. It's not 100% because they don't believe in Kamala. It's because they don't believe in America. They're like, hey, we put this woman out here. Her gender is going to be more of a liability than her race. Because they've already had a mixed president before. They can walk their way through that one because in a way, Kamala and Obama, they're like really, really similar, right? Kamala's dad is Jamaican. Her mama is South Asian. Obama's was African and his mama white. Neither one of them African American. So already out there. They're about the same. But America is wrestling with, and this happens on both sides of the aisle, and it happens on both ideologies and all of this, and across all the racial groups. People, for some reason, just don't want to see a woman in charge in America. And that's one of the reasons why I actually think it is super important to keep Kamala at the top of the ticket, because she's the perfect opposite of what the Republicans are pushing for. The Republicans are pushing for trad wives. They don't want you to be able to vote. They don't want you to have any control of your body, and they don't want you to be running things in corporate America. That is what they want. That's literally their platform. And then you have standing on the other side a black woman who went to school at a HBCU, who, was vice president. She's everything they hate.
That was the point of her ad.
Right? So she's perfect.
It was pretty good. Mm-hmm.
But what annoys me?
Who the heck asked for Warnock to be the running mate?
Nobody want Warnock. You
know what? The same people that asked for Warnock to run as vice president, the same ones that asked for Pete Buttigieg.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think that Pete
could do it.
He will run into similar issues that Kamala will run into. Kamala's running into it because of her gender. Pete's going to run into it because of his sexual orientation.
Yes.
But they are both two of the most gifted politicians in the game right now. So if there was a time to push the envelope, they could probably do it. But my pick is Kamala Harris at the top and Adam Kinzinger, or whatever his name is, at the second.
They are not. They will not in any way, shape, or form have a Republican running mate.
I get it.
Not happen.
I'm telling you. I know. But since we talking pipe dreams, we talking about Raphael Warnock, and we talking about having two women on the ticket. I'm like, hey, I can dream too. So I would say you have Kamala at the top, and now you got you a straight white man in second position, who is he's not even a Republican anymore. He dropped his affiliation. He's really a Republican, though. He just can't be a part of MAGA. But now you get the permission structure for these white folks. That's a little, right? Because we got a lot of white Republicans who are going to vote Democratic on this election because of how odious Trump is. Yeah. So give them something to vote for, right? Because those are the same ones that are going to back up a little bit on Kamala. So that's me just saying from a tactical standpoint. Plus, I'm a guy who doesn't like either one of the parties, so I'm really just looking at it from what can we get. I think that would be a powerful ticket. Andy Beshear, that's one of the names.
Andy Beshear, Kentucky could be made, but I think it could be Roy
and Shapiro's
Cooper.
The other name.
Parker, that's the second time you said Roy Cooper, and I would love to know why. Roy Cooper is my governor.
Nah, you can keep him. But Mark Kelly, I've heard his name.
You don't know him.
I know that he is one of the only things pushing back against your super crazy state legislature. Because North Carolina state legislature is just a little bit nuttier than Georgia's, okay?
Yeah. like North Carolina would have already been Mississippi if it wasn't for
Thank you.
So
Keep him, please.
I'll give that to you. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think Mark Kelly's a pretty cool choice because I think he carries himself very well. I'm smoking hopium, I guess. But what I'm saying is
he switched out his copium for hopium.
The simple view is vote for Trump, and he makes the modern Americans so uncomfortable the laws and rules will finally change.
But see, accelerationists to me is just short of anarchist because it's really a fatalist play, right? Well, America's already sliding off the cliff. Let's put Trump on in there and let him push it on over. Okay. All right. I call it anarchist or fatalist, but some others may call it revolutionary. Okay. Right. I'm not saying right or wrong on that. But then it comes back to what Marlon was saying. What's your plan? Okay. So you put Trump in to go ahead and hasten America having its reckoning. Because right now, this is the most transparent election I would say we've had since the 1800s. We are sitting here and America has to look at itself. Putting Biden in, America had to look at itself about being ageist. All the conversation about Kamala, they're having to look at themselves being sexist because it's stripped away everything.
And he froze again.
He froze again.
Sorry. Am I back?
Yes.
Okay. So
with all that,
the same arguments are for Hillary and Kamala. So we got to deal with the sexism, right? Anarchists are for chaos.
Aren't.
No, she's saying they're not. I'm saying they are. Because let's keep that statement up there. Anarchists aren't for chaos. They want real freedom. Okay. What is real freedom? What is anarchy? Anarchy is not having an organized structure telling you what to do and guiding how society moves. What have we seen of human behavior? Mob mentality, strength, right? What might makes right. Majority rule, minority disenfranchisement. These are the natural behavior sets of us as human beings. Okay. And if you say, well, no, that's not necessarily true. We've never tried it. Okay. Go to any war-torn nation on the planet right now that doesn't have a strong central government. How is it rolling? Is it doing better? People free? Right? No, you got to fight for what you get. right? Government isn't a panacea. Government is just the people coming together, putting some structures in there and saying, hey, here are the general rules of the way we're going to move. Now, left unchecked, you end up where we are right now, where it's just completely corrupt and twisted. So you have to keep correcting it over time. But anarchy, literally, just go to the dictionary and read anarchy. You know what it is. So that's my point. In order for anarchists to have what they want, they skip right over the collapse. How are elders going to get their medicine? What companies are going to stay in America and continue to do business when the government has fallen? What is your currency going to be worth? We're going to just go into the barter and trade system, which like we used to have? How long before another nation just come and take over at that point? Right? The world will not stop and stand by while we decide, well, I'm going to secede over here and I'm not going to have a government over there. And I don't want a standing army because I don't want to have big government telling me what to do over here. What's the plan to navigate that?
Well, she said, okay, maybe we need to learn more about anarchy. People should be allowed to exist without an unjust government overseeing the individuals.
All right. I don't know what political
should be able to exist without an unjust, yes, but we're in the situation we're in now.
And that word is that word unjust is doing a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
Because what is just? What set of rules created just?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, LL. That's it's not funny. But like I said, I want to be more realistic. Unjust government overseeing individuals. You do understand that there are people out there that think that the government is doing a fantastic job with the rulings that they are making. Like, just be realistic about what's going on. They don't see anything that's going on. We have universal health care that we need to talk about. You have people out there in the United States right now that thinks that the health care that we have in the United States is the greatest thing known to man, and nothing should change from that. Roe versus Wade has been turned over, was the greatest decision that the Supreme Court has ever made.
Because it gave back the freedom to the states.
Right. So you can't say it's a definition of saying unjust government, because your definition of unjust is, okay, we'll bring it back. Roe versus Wade. Okay, now this is an unjust nation. We got universal health care. Okay, now it's an unjust nation. It's every individual's thought process on what is and what isn't right with this country.
So I get where the people are coming from when they say anarchy and things like that. It's not to be excitist, but I'm just saying, all right, here's a definition. There's like two definitions that pop up on a Google search, but I'm pretty sure you guys are on number 2, not number 1. All right, number 2, the organization of society on the basis of voluntary cooperation without political institutions or hierarchical government, aka anarchism, right? So it's basically these people. You're not.
I would stop you right there because you was going in and out. So can you read that definition again?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
He was literally going in and out as you. And here's the definition.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. All right.
Just read that first one again.
The organization of society on the basis of voluntary cooperation without political institutions or hierarchical government, aka anarchism, right? It's almost like a utopian, well-ordered commune. It's like a co-op. It's like you want to run the country like a co-op. But the problem is that's not natural. Okay? You need agreement. That's why co-ops and communes are not all over the place. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is because capitalism. But You can go to countries that don't have capitalism and they ain't got that. You can go to Libya where America destroyed their whole government and left everybody just figure it out, folks. They didn't land here. You can go to Haiti. They didn't land here. You can go to Switzerland. They didn't land here. Because you need people to be able to have some level of consistency and predictability. That's what we require as human beings. That's part of our evolutionary process. If you set everybody quote unquote free, free sucks if there's no structure. You know how I say that? Go back to when they set the slaves free.
Free. Yep.
You're free now. The people who have the resources and the land and the businesses and everything, they get to keep theirs. But you're free. Go be free.
Oh, and we was gonna give you some land so you start your life over again. Oops, never mind.
What do you do?
You
do like they do.
That
you do like they do in India, and you do like they do in the Philippines, and you do like they do in Dominican Republic, and you do like they do in our history and our past. You sell yourself into slavery because at least you can eat. You sell your children into slavery because at least you can eat. That is what you get when society falls rapidly. If we were able to rebuild it on in steps, man, I'm with you because I don't like America. But what I don't want is America to crumble and those who have the power secure the weapons. Those who have the resources secure all safe passage out of the country. And what's left is squalor and pain and turmoil. It's kind of like when you hear people say, abolish the police. Okay. All right. Nice slogan. What are you going to put in its place? Well, we need to have social workers. Okay. How are they going to deal with the guy with the gun who's threatening to harm his wife and his whole family? Well, what's a social worker going to do for you after he done slaughtered everybody in the house? Move on to the next house, I guess? I don't know. It's not a light switch moment. All of these things have layers and things to consider. And, you know, the Republicans want to get rid of all the government agencies. They want to get rid of like the FDA. Let's start with Food Drug Administration. What happens when that happens? You think the poor people are going to get the good food? Come on, y'all. So I'm just saying, whatever you believe in, that's cool, but come with a plan. And I fear that our frustrations are putting us in places where we're wishing for a rapid change because we're so disgusted that we actually will embrace worse change. And that is what brings us in parity with a lot of the Trump supporters, right? I don't have a lot of compassion for Trump supporters, but I understand part of why they are the way they are. They're tired of being ignored. They're tired of the corruption. They're tired of the dysfunction. And if I am going to have to lose, then everybody can lose. Is that what we want?
All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and cut this short so we can get into the second hour, which I thought we really would. I knew we was going to run into the second hour. I have 5 comments right now thus far that I haven't read. And like I said, I'm changing the platform to the point that everybody's going to get a chance to have their say. So I will read the comments afterwards, but let's go ahead and take a small break and so we can go ahead and get into the second hour to reboot and refresh and see if we can find out where that dang gone can sound is coming from. But we'll see everybody in the second hour, and if we happen to have time, we may not. we do have a Am I the A-hole? We do have a Foxy video of the week, a new Foxy video of the week, Mafia video of the week, also a new Mafia video of the week, and of course Foxy's video of the week. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned. By the way, during the break, keep the comments going. I'm going to run through all of them. Don't worry about it. We'll comment on every comment. So even during the break, just keep it coming. I ain't scared of y'all. Keep them coming. See y'all on the other side.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, finally. I always say dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally.
We are back, and Theus will be back in a few seconds. Nope, he's back now. We are back, and without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go support Theas at our United Core Communities Built Movements. And if you can reach me like a whole bunch of you was doing this morning when Biden stepped down because he was either bragging or just making sure that I knew, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. It is so hilariously funny that nobody seems to email me at that thing until something spectacular happened, and then it is full. It's just
I'm
here.
glad they-
That's good.
So-
that means you're getting
That is good. It's like Just tell me what's going on. But the next thing you know, did you hear that somebody tried to kill Trump? Did you hear somebody trying to kill Trump? Somebody tried to shoot at Trump. And now today, Biden stepped down. Biden stepped down. Ha ha! I told you so. Biden was gonna step down. So yeah, it works. We're just going to go ahead and jump into the comments because we left off at 5 and now we winded up at 9. So let's go ahead. I don't understand what this is, LL. So you're going to have to go ahead and do. Don't slander something because you don't understand something. I'm not going to comment on it. Please don't comment on it because you need to explain what it is that we
No,
slander.
she already did. She did.
What?
Or Learn
Okay.
Life did. I'm sorry, I don't
He
recall.
He did.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, he did.
Pete.
'Cause he basically was saying that the way I was explaining anarchy was not the full way to consume it. So that's the point that was being made.
All right. Anarchist belief system can exist alongside a government. They are separate. Then what's the point of the anarchist?
Yeah. Well, as you'll see in a moment, because I looked at the comments, he had to step away. So we won't get an answer right now.
Okay.
Because Parker also was asking something similar.
All right. We're already slaves now, which I will push back real easy to let you know beyond a shadow of a doubt. If you think that is true, let me put it to you this way. You literally right now would never, ever be able to say that on here at all. Nor would we, and I apologize, Anna, but just again, being truthful, Anna would be the only person on this platform right now if that was true.
I'll give you one better, bro. So let's not, because I'm tempted to go straight to chattel slavery. Let's not even do that. Let's just go with one of the more nicer versions of slavery. Still horrendous. Sex slaves. You think they're gonna have time to sit here and be on the YouTube and chat back and forth about it, or that they can just tell their pimp or their jailer that they don't want to do something or something like that? See, we way too cavalier with the term slave. Way too loose with it. But I get the point that was trying to be raised, but that term just
I do get it. Dude, I'm sorry. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that when we went through the pandemic, that word was used. Being a slave, dude, you're at home. Take my word for it. That's not slavery. You have no definition of slavery because you can't do what you normally have done.
That's just a way of saying I don't really understand slavery.
They don't, and some of them didn't want to.
And I don't mean that in an insulting way. I literally don't mean that in an insulting way. I think that the term has become so nerfed that it gets used just to draw the attention to the import of what they're trying to get across. I'm just saying that's probably not.
It's the same, but I agree with you. Things. Let me piggyback on that. It's the equivalent of, and we have said it on this show, I don't know how many countless times. It's the equivalent of whatever new word that we use. Let me just use the word Karen. And everybody, Karen is the new N word. If you still using the N word to describe what it is, there is no new version of it because you still can't say the word.
Yeah. It's still a slur. It's still hurtful.
Yeah, it's hurtful.
It is not the same.
It is nowhere near it.
But anyway, yeah, I get the point that was being made, though.
But I get it. I get you. LL, can you elaborate on how anarchist belief system can exist alongside a government? I'm confused, and that was the point that I brought up. The FDA currently allows known cancer-causing chemicals in what they call food. Which I will say this, LL, I totally agree with you, but don't worry because if the Republican Party gets in there and Project 2025 gets used, you don't have to worry about the FDA anymore.
Yeah.
Don't
worry about the trace amounts of fecal matter or rat droppings or chemical byproducts, because there's actually levels that they say is okay for some of this stuff to be in your food. Don't worry, if we just get rid of the FDA,
we'll just get rid of the FDA.
We can get more of all those wonderful things.
And by the way, for the people who are listening or new to the show and everything, that think we're being hyperbole, we're not. That is literally one of the organizations that's on the chopping block in Project 2025 to get rid of the FDA.
And the EPA.
And I literally said one of.
Yep.
A community can decide on how to deal with a problem in-house before calling the cops. I agree. If you decide to put the community together and not after the fact.
Or even better yet, because go ahead, Anna.
Okay, so I think that's the point he was trying to make about anarchists can live alongside, and you can still be an anarchist, though you're living within a governmental structure. You still have the desire to be left alone, to basically to figure out your life, to figure out what comes to you, and to not rely on the government for that. That's all I think. And LL, if I am either simplifying it too much, go ahead and elaborate for me. But
no, I agree.
So I would agree with you on that. And there are communities which, believe it or not, because Boyd and Phil Column have shown that deep Southern communities dislike cops a lot. Yes. To the point where their communities are really tight knit, they're really together. In one fall, they all of them come. So to see somebody's house burn down and rebuild it within a week, not really a stretch. They really can do it. So
absolutely. Okay. But here's the value to this statement, or some depth to this statement, because people oftentimes will talk about this in a fanciful way. We have examples. So if you go into you go back into the Jim Crow era for us as African Americans, Black people, we had to learn how to function without the police because the police are oftentimes the Klan. So we handled our business in-house. You were beating on your wife or doing something that we didn't agree with, then the neighborhood came and they took care of you. They put their hands on you and they dealt with you, or they sat you down and they had these conversations and they did these things. But here's the thing. If you're going to look at the good side, you got to look at the bad side. Because I've literally tried to map out how to do some of these things. Because I believe, as Black people, we can create a structure beneath the structure where, let's just say you live in the city of ABCD. All right. So in the city of ABCD, we have decided that we are going to elect our own. I'm going to use terms that exist already, but we're going to elect our own alderman. And so whenever there is an issue, that is the person or the 2 or 3 people we have elected amongst ourselves without any consent or approval by the government to speak on our behalf, so that they then can talk to the city of XYZ, who has their structure, and then say, hey, here is something both of our cities need. We want more money for our schools, or we want more money for this, that, or the third. And then they talk to each other, and then they can put all those votes together, and they can lobby the actual government more effectively because you have a structure now. Hey, cool. Now, what I just described does not truly exist, because the closest thing you have to that is going to be the indigenous people on the reservations. And how well are they really coping with the American structure? So my point is not that the concept can't exist. My point is that it's a contradiction of terms. Not only that, but the different communities in time, they all follow the exact same flow. Eventually, they become hostile to one another. because as you have groupthink, you become more consolidated in your worldview. And so you end up isolated even when that was never your original intention. That's how gangs grow, right? The Crips and the Bloods, they started off as protection organizations. They were there to help the poor people stand up against police abuse. But in time, they became their own thing. And then they began to fight over resources and territory and all of these different things. It's what we as humans do, right?
Yeah.
So that's where my pushback is. It's not that in our imagination it can't work. The problem is it can't last very long because human nature is such that it has to be refreshed. And if you're in an isolated community, you're not refreshing. You're just not. I'm sorry. You might think you are, but you're not. That's why I don't believe that you can have an all-black community that just lives in and of itself. It's not going to be healthy in the long run because you're not bringing new ideas in. You're not bringing new blood in. You're just fostering what's within. It's the same criticism we put on religious people. It's the same criticism we put on cults. It's the same criticism we put on the Republican Party because it's like 98% white. It's the same thing. If you create echo chambers, and it feeds itself. So it's a danger in that. That's one of the reasons America, as flawed as it is as good as it is, because it's constantly getting new influx of ideas, ways of doing, different cultures. Some want to fully get in and assimilate. Some want to kind of step back and kind of, right? But it's that blend that makes America so strong. So that's where I'm sorry. I don't want to get at nobody. I was just, that's where my pushback, the spirit is coming from.
All right. When you get back from the break, can you please share your thoughts on the people at the RNC when sanitary ear bandages? And I've been at this game too long because if y'all don't know, here we go.
That's groupthink on display.
Yep.
That's all that is. It's like if you look at these people in this picture, just the three men that are center here, there's good bet that left to their own devices, they would never do it. But within your community group, within your social group, this is what we're all doing now. So to show that I'm with you, person sitting next to me, to show that I am part of the community, then I am conforming to the group. And where
I'll put a maxi pad on my ear.
Exactly, because to them, it's not that I'm putting a tampon or a maxi pad on my ear. It is that I am showing you, Marlon, I am showing you, Anna, that I am on the same team with you. This is no different than wearing the same T-shirt or wearing the same color pants.
Red hat.
It's all the same. And so where the danger, I think, comes in is that means that whatever Trump does, you will continue to bend yourself into pretzels to match, to show that you are still loyal, to show that you are still here. Even if you don't agree, you'll push that down and you'll just walk with the crew. This is human nature. This is all what my last rant really kind of talks about. So the danger for me here is these are people who are, a lot of them are very well educated. They own businesses. They do normal things. But if Trump were to say, go get this group, by the time it worked through the mob to realize maybe we shouldn't be doing this, the damage is already happening, and then it feeds itself, and they have to carry through. That's how Nazism.
Okay, and then I'm going to tell you,
Anyone?
and I will tell you, if you think that I'm going to put a maxi pad on my ear to show unity to any man, I will just see myself out.
But you're looking at it from where we are, and it's really any of us, anyone, anyone can get sucked into a cult or into a warped way of doing things under the right circumstances. So
and Theas, I can actually piggyback on what you're saying because I'm making light of this. And rightfully so, because you put a maxi pad on your ear. But yeah, anybody who sits there and go, "Oh, this is crazy. This is wild. This is nuts. This is a cult." Let me ask you something. I want you to right now go into your dresser drawer, your closet, wherever it is that you keep your team jersey at.
I don't have one.
You don't have one, and you don't have one, and I don't have one.
But there's a whole community that does, yeah.
But there's a community of college team jerseys. There's a community of your pro team jersey. You look at a soccer. We have a professional soccer team here where I live, and if you do not believe that there are Rabbit fans who goes in there with their jersey on and their flag of the country they're representing draped around their shoulder, it's the same thing.
And periodically they get carried away and someone gets hurt or someone gets killed. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Here's what I'm a little wondering. Now, this is my silly moment here.
That somebody's wife is pissed off that they're missing a maxi pad.
No, it's more along the lines of, so is everybody wearing like a regular days pad, or is it like the overnight pad? Or is it like,
it's just a 3x3.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, if you're loyal, because I would tell me you're not very loyal if you're wearing a light days. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, did you get the purple pack or the yellow pack? If you got the yellow pack, then I don't really think that you're not really in. You know what I'm saying?
They show your real loyalty on that. If you don't wear no heavy pad, dude.
Nah, it's purple and green over here, homie. We don't do. Oh
God. LL say he got to go. So LL, we will, because and I'm gonna say that before I get to the next one. And remember to announce that you are off next weekend, which is true. We will see LL in 2 weeks because, and I promise you, now I'm feeling the effect. So I don't have anything in August at all. So we will literally be on all 3 weekends of August, or at least I will, because I don't have anything. We have taken a lot of time off. Did we count the last weekend of the month? Because that's when we usually take off.
I thought you were saying that no, we're not going to take any time off. So I was asking, wouldn't that be 4 weekends?
Well,
okay.
Normally we would take the last weekend of the month off regardless, but you got to remember the last couple of months. We did one on, 2 weekends off, one on, 2 on, 1 weekend off. So it's like it's been a hectic. But I promise you, the time that we took off, it was worth it. Like,
so we are off next weekend, right?
We are off next weekend, and I had a blast yesterday for the reason we took off to celebrate Foxy's graduation, and we played games as a family. And my father-in-law came out. We went and got our father-in-law. He came out. It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
I saved my mother-in-law's life because if she falls, I'm gonna lose my shit. Lord, she almost fell. We'll play a
Oh.
race. We'll play a game where you had to run and do something, and she tripped, and I was like, I apologize to my mother-in-law on the air. But for a split second, I was treating her like a 3-year-old because she was trying to run back, and I went, walk. And I went, oh crap, Marlon, she's older than you. You may need to watch your mouth there, buddy. It's just like, mm-mm. Like Fossey said, not on my watch. No.
Everybody hold hands. Let's go.
let's and we still won. So and LL's back. Okay. I can't do this today, but real freedom is hard, and y'all overcompensating a belief and conflating it with a control system. I certainly don't need the corrupt government telling me anything anymore. And I would agree with you. However, now what's your plan to stop this corrupt system?
Well, no, well, that's just it. What like Anna was saying, where it existing within. So
I mean,
this is where the contradiction of terms comes in. No, this is where the contradiction of terms comes in, because you want freedom, you don't want to be told what to do. So basically, I don't need your speed limits because we know when we're driving too fast and we'll adjust to the speed of traffic. I don't need to register my vehicle because it's my vehicle. Really, what do you need to know if I have a car or not? I don't need to have the police in my neighborhoods telling me what to do, where I can go, and all these different things. We can agree amongst ourselves what is reasonable and acceptable in our community. I don't need blah, 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 blah. Cool. In an ideal world, I would agree with all of that. And I don't think America has the best system of the alternative, right? So it's like, it's not, one doesn't make the other right or wrong, I guess is the way to put that. But where the contradiction comes in is that you can only say that because you have the luxury of that same government, right? It's like, I still want you to make sure Russia doesn't invade the country. I still want to make sure we have paved roads, clean water, things like that. I still want to be able to go to the hospital if I get seriously injured or something like that. I want all the good stuff, but stop there, which is a good in theory. It's really good in theory. It's like, hey, government, do the necessary stuff,
right,
and then back up. But that is not natural. So when you say, it's like to me, it's like you need, if you're gonna say you're gonna go with a term as strong as anarchist, then do it. Have it all. Right? You go to a sovereign citizen, which is an extreme, right? It's not the same thing.
Right.
You go to a sovereign citizen, says that they're not subject to any of the laws of the land. But they also don't want to leave the land because in their view, America isn't entitled to the land. Okay. You can't have it both ways. Like you just, it's kind of like anybody. You can't be in my house. You're in my house. I pay the bills. I make sure there's groceries in the refrigerator. I make sure the power and the water's on. I make sure all that stuff going on. But because I'm taking care of all that, you don't feel like you should have to yield to my authority. We're all equals here. Right? There is no mom, no dad. We're just family. Okay. But you still want me to make sure the lights are on, the taxes get paid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's in a way, it's literally unreasonable. And this is where the black-white dynamic, oftentimes I have problems with what some of what people on my side would say, is like they want white people to just leave us alone. That's not natural. is not. So it's like you're in my house. Now here's where it's get complicated though. You're in my house. I let you live in my garage. Right? You can live in my garage. There's no heat in the garage. I'm protected from the elements, but it's cold and you in there all comfortable and all that good stuff. I don't want to live in the garage. Let me live in the house where I want to go in the house. Okay, I'll let you. You can come in the house, but this is the room you got to stay in. Oh, so now I just got to stay in one room. I can't go nowhere else in the house. I can't decorate my room. I can't do. It's like I'm being silly, but it's real, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what integration did. Whereas there were some of us who were advocating the other way, saying, I don't want to be in your house. I don't want to be in your garage. I want to build my house. I just like you have your house, I want to go build my house. And because you blocked me from being able to compete with you to get the materials necessary to build a house, then I need you to help me build my house and then leave me alone, right? That's the only restitution I need from you. Let me build my house because it's your fault I couldn't build a house, right? It ain't like, you wouldn't let me have the stuff, okay? So just that's our catch up. And from there, we'll be neighbors and you do your thing and I do my thing. We go to work, we do whatever we do, cool. But that would have been separation in America. White America wasn't ready for that. And I would also say Black America wasn't ready for that. So here we are arguing about the treatment in somebody else's house. And that's how the anarchist conversation hits me when I hear it, because it's like, you're not saying get rid of America. You're saying, well, we coexist. I don't have to listen to you.
I have a different take on what you were saying about
it was
separation.
Not well formed, so I'm with you.
Yeah. But the separation is, and we'll go back to the civil rights movement, Jim Crow, when we were saying separate but equal. And let me explain before you make that face, is that you heard that they heard, then they heard separate. They totally on purpose or nor didn't care about the equal part. So when I say to just leave us alone, I want you to take into account when I say leave us alone, it's not just your policing, so to speak. I mean, stop blocking us from having the same equality that you have. I can build my home just like you. You just piggyback it off of what Thiz was saying. I can build my house just like you can build your house. But you got in my business with redlining, so no, the equality has been severed. So when I say you can't live without white people, yes, we can. If you will step out of my damn way and let us do the same work that you are doing. But when you put building blocks, whatever, when you put things in our way to have the same equality that you have, and basically push us to the fact that you really do need us, don't you? No shit, because we can't do it if you're standing in the way of things. I would love to be able to stand on my 2 feet and do the exact same thing that you are capable of doing. But you don't have roadblocks. That's the word I was looking for. You don't have roadblocks in your way. We did.
But see, Marlon, and I love that. I love that part of the conversation, because first thing I would say, and I often say, is I don't want equality. Actually, I don't want that.
You have to stop.
I don't want that.
What you saying. Well, never mind, because you still.
Did I break up again?
Yeah, go ahead. You didn't miss.
So I think equality is a false flag. Here's what I would want. Okay. Now it's a little late in the game now, so it might change a little bit. But Western powers, all of you had heavy involvement in slavery and colonialism. All of you did. All right. The Western powers, like there's minor European nations that really didn't get into that. But those powers, just like you did for Israel, do that for us. Give us a nation state. And then, having given us a nation state, help us build, keep us safe for a period of time. And then we will actually start to buy things from you to defend ourselves, because you don't have to do it no more. And we'll have industry to compete around the world and all those different things. That would be the closest thing to restorative justice you could ever do. For those of us who want to leave, give us a homeland. We'll go there and then do what you did for Israel, do it for us. Right? They won't do that, but that would be my call. One of the issues.
Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying what I was saying, and this next statement is not saying that you're not being realistic. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm realistic because they did it.
The reason I was saying what I was saying was I'm talking about when it comes to the Black community. I know, being in this country for 52 years, and I hate saying that because I was a little damn kid at the age of 10 years old. You and this shit. But 52 years, let's just go with that now. That I was in this country for 52 years, and I know you're not going to make up for what you did. I know that. We've been asking for reparations for the end of slavery.
But have we? See, the point I'm making is all of us aren't going to want to go. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us shouldn't have to go. You want to stay here, stay here. I don't care. Just like everybody didn't go to Israel, right?
Right.
And also, here's another problem. In order to establish Israel, you had to displace the indigenous people. So are we willing to be the displacers? Right? Because somebody's going to be wherever they want to put us. So that brings you back to, well, give us some land within America. Well, if you give us some land within America, now we're just like the indigenous people. We don't have the same claim to the land. But now we're just like the indigenous people, right?
Yeah.
And you're stuck within a nation that hates you. So how long before that's anything that was given to you is taken back, right? So there's no perfect solution here. The only solution really is for everybody to look at each other and say, you know what? The past, it's the past. We forgive you for all the hard feelings of the past. If we can start from now and all be Americans. Now, in order to do that, here's how we do justice. That's why I don't want equality. I want justice. Justice means that in this area, I might have to give you a little more. And in this little area, in this area over here, we might not give you nothing. And in this area over here, you might lose a little bit, right? That's justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Equality is saying, put everything you have on the table and let's divvy it back out. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Your neighbor can't knock on your door and say, hey, nice car. I don't have a car. Can I have yours?
Or hear me out. Hear me out. Just give us Texas and we're done.
Right. So here's the problem with giving us Texas. As soon as they do, and I love this. As soon as let's say they did, right? Let's say all the white people in Texas was just like, you know what? There's plenty of land in America. I'll go to Wyoming. And they just all left and went to Wyoming and Montana and all that. And they said, black people, you can have Texas. All right. Now, two ways you can do it. Does Texas become a black territory like the right? Like a little sovereign nation within a nation, like it is for the indigenous people. The term escapes me. Anna, what's that word?
I'm not sure where you're going.
Reservation.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It becomes like a reservation. But here's the thing: when all the white people leave, everything they own is coming out with them. All the businesses are coming out with them. All the wealth is coming out with them, and they're gonna be like, "Here you go, right? Here you go." And then, how long before Mexico says, "Yeah,
That was ours.
you can come with us, or we can come take it," right? And white America, because of the history that America has, would not intervene. They would sit back, let Mexico take Texas from us. Once Mexico has taken Texas from us, then America
American people come in
would
and
take it back,
from
plus all the stuff in Mexico.
Yep.
And now you're back at what?
Square one.
Right? So it's like unrealistic demands are out there. So I don't know. The only way we can do this is we have to become just decent, and that's contrary to human behavior.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and wind it down. Am I the a-hole? Okay. Spoiler alert, you are the a-hole. Just going ahead and just say that now. But you anyway, the title of this story is The Cabin.
My wife's family owns a nice cabin in a mountainous area 2 hours from our city. This past summer, my wife allowed my family to come to the cabin with her a couple of times. My mom loves the area. My family always has a good time there. 3 days ago, my wife told me that she wanted to go to the cabin for a romantic getaway. While talking to my mom, I did tell her that we would be gone this weekend. My mom wanted to have my family come to the cabin too to make it one last trip before my brother leaves for college. My mom called our family before I got a chance to talk to my wife. When I told my wife, she didn't even let me finish. She cut me off and said no. She said she planned a romantic getaway. Then she said that she needed a break from my mom. I told my wife that we can have a romantic getaway anytime. She stopped me again and said no. That afternoon, when we arrived at the cabin, my family was waiting for us. I have never seen my wife so mad. When I tried to explain again that we could do our getaway another time, my wife got out of the car and started to walk down the driveway. She called her brother, who lives 30 minutes away, to come pick her up. My wife just kept walking down the road. I tried and tried to get her to get back in our car. She just kept walking. Oh my God. I asked her for the keys so that my family could at least get inside the cabin. But I got nothing from her. She just kept walking. Soon, her brother showed up. I could tell that he was angry. My wife got in the car and told him to drive off without talking to me. My family, who was angry at this point, eventually left and went back to our city. When I went to my brother-in-law's, he was waiting for me. He handed me an ultrasound photo and said that my wife needed time to think about all of her options. Oh, he didn't know that she's pregnant. She was going to tell him during the romantic getaway. Oh no, that makes it so much worse. My wife's brother said that she was staying with other family members, but wouldn't tell me who. He finished by saying that my mom is interfering in our relationship too much, and my wife wanted a man, not a boy. Then he asked me to leave. All of this just because I didn't tell my mom no. I feel like my wife should have told me that she was pregnant and given me a chance by redoing our romantic getaway. Yo, buddy, that's literally what she was trying to do. Oh, man. I've tried calling my wife, but she hasn't answered. Any idea how to work through this? I love my wife, and I'm excited about the baby. I want the baby. Down in the comments, we have this interesting detail from OP. He says, regarding his mom, "We live close to my parents, and we talk every day. The topic about the cabin came up when my mom asked me to mow her lawn this weekend."
Okay. I ain't got but one more rant left in me, so let me just use it on this one. Since I got the next 2 weeks off. At no single solitary effing, oh, this is the second hour, fucking time, do you ever look at your wife and say, let's make up a romantic evening? You blithering moron. If your wife sets up a romantic evening with you, it's only one sentence that need to be coming out of your mouth. 2 questions, actually. When and where? That's it. Those are 2 questions. Theas, you're not a romantic, so what the hell? I don't even care about your face. For the normal romantic people out there like me, when and where? Number 2. Oh no, you all suck. Anna too,
Hey.
because she told me.
Hey,
You suck too. You just told me.
I put up my hand and I then decided not to interrupt you.
We're 2 hours in.
It's still Mama Heart Hour. It's just
It's still the Baba Heart.
That-
a long hour.
That starts after Radical Truth and Power, does it not?
It does so. So for the Mama Heart Hour, let me go ahead and finish this rant. Number 2. I love my mom with all my heart. She was a single parent who raised me on her own. And needless to say, when she got remarried, it was still me and my mom. I ain't seen my mom 2 weekends in a row. We ain't going to no cabin 2 weekends in a row. Saw you last week. This week is my wife. We got some things to take care of. But the funny thing about it is so hard for me to relate to this story because my mom would literally say the same thing. Like, my mom is not going to look at me and go, let's go to the cabin again. My mom would never do that. She just wouldn't. Like, it was nice. Hey, mom, let's do it again this weekend.
Are you taking care of your wife?
Do you do realize you need you married now, right? My mom gave me the greatest advice in the world. And it sounds mean, but it really isn't. At my wedding, before I stood at the altar, my mom's looked at me and said, I love you and I love who you chose to be your wife. But you about to become a husband now. You about to become a father of multiple kids. So I'm going to give you one advice about being married. You better work it out. Whatever the issue is, because you can't come back here. You better figure it out. Because that's what you do. I've been trading and raising you just for this event alone. You better figure it out. My mom always been that common sense type person. Use common sense. Use your head. That was her. That she drilled that into me from the time I understood what she was saying. Use your head. Use common sense. Use your head. Use common sense. Grandma's version was.
You've said before, your mother asked you, what would you do if she wasn't there, correct?
What would you do if I wasn't here? And I never understood that when I was a kid because I'm like, well, I'm literally looking at you right now, Mom, so I don't understand what that question was. Now I get it. Like, what would you do if I wasn't here? I have raised you on every contention. We're literally been raised in the hood, the worst of the worst. You are now in the best of the best. So come on. I know you can do this, Marlon. Use your head. And the funny thing about it is, I'm 52 years old. My mom, I can text my mom and say a sentence wrong, and she would look at me and go, "That sentence makes no sense. And you know better. Rewrite this." Like, hello. You understand what I'm saying? I understand what you were saying, but that's not what this sentence means. I need you to rewrite this thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, keep in my mind that my mom has been a teacher for 20 plus years, so
Right.
that helped. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna need you to grow up, bro. Period, point blank, in the discussion. And I'm going to go out on a stretch of saying that you brought up the cabin with your wife simply because you didn't want to cut your mama's grass. I don't know what to even tell you. I don't. I just don't know what to say to you right now. Can this be fixed? Yes, but you have so much work to do to fix this, and you cannot make one single solitary mistake along the way. Not one. Not a one. And I'm gonna let you go last because I kind of think that if I don't give Theus a chance to say something, he's gonna have a stroke. So, Theus, please enlighten us on your. You can walk out the damn door. I don't care. So go ahead.
So since Marlon says that I'm totally devoid of romance, I guess
Romance, emotion.
I got plenty of
Tolerance.
emotion. What I'm not gonna do is ever, and it's not in me to live my life like I'm scared of my woman. Like that's not it. But
What?
here's my thing. Because like
That's
you
not.
can't
I
make
wasn't
not a
saying it like you had to be
mistake.
scared of your
You-
wife. I'm saying
You
that
just
you
better not make a single mistake, and that's cool. Hey, we got different ways of coming at it. It ain't nothing wrong either way. But what I'm saying is this: dude is an ass. Okay, if your wife says to you, I cannot handle being around your mama right now, that's a heavy statement. You need to listen to her because that's not something that she's just going to say just to say it. Right? That's where I say the brakes should have came on. And then for you to turn around and, in my words, this is my view, you ambushed her by still inviting your family to the cabin.
Oh,
So-
what is? Hold on.
Or at least not disinviting them.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Anna. That's
Right.
what I was. Yeah.
So that right there shows a lack of respect for your wife. Now me, you tell me we're gonna have a romantic weekend or whatever. Yeah, I do want to know when and where, but I got more questions than that. How we gonna pay for it? Where the money come from? I'm going through all them things, man. But there would not have been a whole lot of once she said that she needed this time, just me and her. Because see, there's two things that's probably coming out of my wife saying something like that. Either we in some serious issues in our relationship and it's about to fall apart, so we need to be one-on-one so that she can say what she need to say, or she just wants time with me. It's one of the two. It could be really good or really bad. Either way, I don't need an audience. So listen to your wife. That's my thing. It's like respect the relationship and respect who you in a relationship with. that's for me what it is. And I guess, yeah, that does sound not very romantic. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not. But
I find you actually very romantic, yes.
I just believe
In your own way.
my form of because not I'm not syrupy sweet, but
You don't need to.
I will bend over backwards to make sure you have everything you need. I'm catering to your moods and your whims and all these things to keep life simple. That's me. You're not gonna get, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I used to be that guy when I was a teenager.
Some people find that romantic. So just
right.
So I get that it's your own thing.
What I am works for her, right? So it's respect in our relationship, and it's, the other stuff is just not. Matter of fact, it makes both of us a little awkward. We're like, so different couples operate different ways. But something that no matter how you operate is your wife said to you earnestly, I just need to be with you right now. That's it. That's it. Right? Deal with that. Yeah. And then, so that's for me, that's the whole story. Yeah, that's it. Because everything else kind of feeds off of that, And when we got to the spot and she just took off walking,
bruh.
And I know it's like
that told me that she was in such a state. If she was disassociating to that point, there had to be something behind that. And then boom, we find out she's pregnant.
Yeah, so here's my flaw with her. Because that means they got terrible communication. They got horrible communication.
I hear you. Yeah.
Open your mouth. Use your words. Stop this mess. Well, I shouldn't have to, or just trust me, or just what? No, if the person ain't getting it, and you want them to get it, that's the key. And you want them to get it, they're not getting it. Open your mouth and say something. No, it didn't fit your plans. No, it didn't fit the day that you wanted it to happen on. No, it didn't happen under the circumstances that you wanted it to be on. But that's life. Life don't always give you what you want. So you need to be a grown-up and say, okay, out of this situation, I still need to get this across. You need to know that we are about to have a baby. And I can't sit here and see how we can have a successful relationship with us about to be responsible for a whole nother person, and I can't even talk to you, and you won't even listen to me when I tell you that I don't need to be around your mama right now, and I need some time with you. Have the argument, have the conversation. That's what you do with someone you say you love. You don't just sit it inside and stew on it, expecting the other person to figure it out. If they ain't figured it out yet, they're not going to. So now you're dealing with a divorce.
Just a small pushback on that, though. Just a small one. Because we talked about it earlier today that we're talking about individuals, people with their own mind, and this is my point, own emotion. I have literally been to the point of being so pissed off at a situation or a person that I just don't have the words in me right now to communicate that to you. I just don't. It's not going to come out. And I do know now that I'm older that now I'm not saying anything to you because I know that what I'm going to say is going to make the situation a whole lot worse than what it is.
That's also a choice.
It is. And that's why I choose to keep my mouth shut. Because what's going to come out my mouth is going to be a whole lot worse and so much off the topic. Like I literally can tell you at the beginning what the topic is, and there's going to be a whole bunch of rambling afterwards. Or vice versa. A whole bunch of rambling, and then I get to the topic, and I know both of them is not going to help the situation that we're in right now.
I get it, bro. But what I'm saying is, on the other side of all this is another person. So you decide, okay, look, I'm so like 5 o'clock hot right now that if I try to talk to you, I might say something hurtful, or it might just get out of control. So I'm choosing to stay quiet. Okay. But on the other side of that decision that you made is a person who doesn't understand why you're not talking to them. Is a person who wants to know what's going on. Is a person who might even be oblivious because they don't even really know what to ask or how to ask it. Because we all have different lives that brought us to the same point. So yes, it's your choice to be like, yo, I know my temper. And I know if I come out the box, man, but as you say that, as you're saying that to yourself, you have to acknowledge that you choose the words that come out your mouth no matter how mad you are. So you are saying, I refuse to control myself with what I'm going to say. So I'm going to control myself by not saying anything. And having made that decision without you, I want you to just respect it. But I don't have to do that for you. I ain't got to do that for you. You go off the handle with me or do something crazy like that with me. I want to know why. I want to know why you're not talking to me. I want to know why you look upset. I want to know.
Okay.
That's hypocrisy.
Just because you ask doesn't mean you're gonna get it.
It doesn't.
At the very beginning of what I said to you was, I want a romantic evening with you. You said my mom and the family is coming. I just using her temperament, not my temperament, because my temperament be if your mom and them show up, they ain't getting in. But that's neither here nor there. Her using her temperament was no, and I think in the story was said 3 times. No, I don't want your mom there. Now you decided to either go about this, continue to invite her, or Anna, who's saying you never rescinded the invite. So after I have said to you, no, I don't want your mom there. I have a romantic evening. It's just me and you. You don't deserve to know why I am so fucking upset until I decide to cool down enough to stay on the topic of why I'm upset. You know, the part of the being upset was I told you no for your parents, for your family, not to be there, and you disrespected me by going, hey, I'm just going to do it anyway.
100% agree. Me saying what I'm saying is not taking away from the wrong of him. I'm not saying anything. Everything I'm saying is about you, the individual. The only person you control is you, the individual, and how you choose to conduct yourself in a relationship. So we differ in just how we approach this. I'm saying we're going to go ahead and have the argument now because we've run into the issue now. And I'm not going to sit here and let it fester inside of me or you, because when we do have the argument, it'll be worse. It'll have stuff in there from other frustrations I have. All this stuff will come up. What I can do is right now, look, I said to you, I want to have a romantic weekend with you. I wanted this to be a surprise, right? So that's why I didn't go all into why I just want to be with you. You couldn't respect that, even though I told you I can't deal with your mom right now. I just wanted to be me and you. But I thought it was done because you didn't give me any pushback. It was done. And then I show up and there they are, right? Baby and all the kids is right there. All right. Now we're having the next level of issue. None of this is right. You see what I'm saying? But to just walk off and not say anything, that's not helping anything either. And then to go ghost, and I'm at some random family. Everybody got a different person. They just go stay at their house. But now I'm just going to go ghost and be at somebody else's house. That's not good either. So now you could be in a situation where, because you're so offended, you're trying to calm down, but the other person, this is my saying, and it doesn't fit everybody, but in the absence of information, you leave me with my imagination.
Yeah.
And I will always prepare myself for the worst. So I didn't get the hint.
Uh-oh.
I did being an ass.
You paused a little bit there,
You froze right after that I didn't get the hint.
but you didn't get.
Right, I didn't get the hint, and I didn't listen when you flat out told me. I was being an ass because I'm too scared of my parents, my mama, or because I just didn't care what you were saying. Like, I didn't want to spend a romantic weekend. I wanted fun with the family, right? So either of those. But then you take off and you just disappear into the ether. Here's what Theus is going to do. Theus is going to follow you down the road because I can't make you get in the car. Theus is going to be there when your brother shows up and takes off with you. Theus is going to be blowing up your phone, trying to get you to talk to me. What's going on? Because this ain't like you. What's going on? If you stay dark after this Theus. Theus is now preparing for divorce. Because whatever this is so bad, you ran away from home. Okay? So you think in your world, you need space to calm down because that's how upset you are, but you haven't given up on the marriage yet. It's just that this is just really bad. I'm already disassociated because you've never shut me out like that. No matter any other dumb things I might have done in the past, this is new. Right? So that's why I'm saying all this needs to be earlier on. If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, open your mouth, use your words. It doesn't matter if you're in the right or if you're in the wrong. Use your words. What is this? I don't get that.
In a way, she's perpetuating the very thing that she's afraid of her husband continuing to do, and that is to put his mother's needs over his wife and now child's needs. And now you disassociated from your husband, who's supposed to be your partner, and you've retreated to your family. You've just proven that actually both of y'all need to take a step back in a way, not a literal step back. And think about what you are you in this marriage? Are you ready to go that hard next step, even when it doesn't feel comfortable? But are you still ready to step with me, in a way? And it's just she showed her cards as well, and it wasn't the best hand, is all I would put to that. She did give him very, very clear signals, and then even said right out, I cannot take another minute with your mama. That should have been a red flag to him, because it already is to her. And she's already asking, will you ever be able to choose our child? That's not a good thing that she's asking that. So there's more that happened in here than just a mama's boy. Yes, he is a mama's boy. That in itself is not a bad thing. Some boys like to take care of their mothers. Some are very service oriented. So it's in the when your wife shows you, I need you to pick me at this moment, that should be a huge red flag to you. yeah, this is either really good or really bad, and we need to have some time. I could not agree anymore with what Thea said there. It was both of them, but I mean, like I said, she was pushed into a disassociative state, stressed by hormones and all that. Like, you know, we'll give her credit for what she was going through. But man, you just walked away from your baby's father on a weekend where you were trying to say it was important for us to be a unit, a family. And that's really missing. It's, what am I trying to say? I'm missing the tie up.
Like it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was.
There was no, when there should be a time of unity, it's starting off on a really bad footing.
What Anna said was perfect. I wish that would have been like the whole thing. She, at the time that she needed you to pick her, you didn't.
No. All right. Positive story of the week or mafia video of the week?
Positive.
Okay.
You got your headphones in, Anna? God dang. Positive video of the week. I did not pick the positive video of the week, and our own Anna Hart picked the positive video of the week. We all know where this is going when it comes to Thea's. We literally all know. If you're shocked by it, you're new to the show.
I promise to take the positive story and find a not positive angle to it.
So here we go. Anna's positive story of the week.
By the way, he says English is not his first language, so bear that in mind. I met her almost 2 decades ago. It was a party at a lake of the local university. We liked each other, but our lives were very, very different. I was finishing school that year, had to do my year of service for my country called civic duty. We don't have it anymore. And went to university far away. She didn't finish school, but started working early. It just didn't work out. We kept in contact over the years. I wouldn't say we were friends. We were people who liked to catch up via text or phone every 6 to 10 months. And when I was home, we would hook up. I mean, that sounds friendly to me, and that's fine, but let's call a spade, okay? She was a pal who came with a DLC pack, so, you know, bonus content, okay. This stopped when she met her soon-to-be husband. I can't tell you anything about him because I never met him in person. They fell in love, married, and she got pregnant with a daughter. They were happy together. I thought it was sad that we didn't talk anymore, but I understood. I wasn't as lucky as her when it came to relationships. I kind of accepted that I would never have a family, a stable relationship, or at least more than 3 days in a row of not being depressed. Let's say alcohol isn't the best idea in such a situation. At least I was high functioning. I did really good in university and started a career. It brought me back in my home region. I hadn't heard from her in several years. What I didn't know was that my life was a cakewalk compared to hers at this time. Her husband got killed in a car crash. Some a-hole was driving under the influence and thought he could make the turn before her husband would pass. He couldn't. I never asked for more details. She doesn't like this topic, and I try to respect it. She couldn't handle what happened and ended in a clinic for her mental health. Her daughter was with her mother at that time. What? The day she was released, she had her own car crash. The doctors weren't joking when they told her she shouldn't drive with the drugs they were giving her. Back to the clinic. So the daughter was with her, like in the institution, or somebody clarify this for me. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he just meant that the daughter was with her in the car. Here she saw on the Book of Faces that I was back. The Book of Faces. Okay, by the way, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the fact that I just said Book of Faces out loud. So I can sense your judgment through the camera, and I reject it completely. She wrote me and I answered. I visited her. She liked that I wasn't cursing at her for driving drugged. I didn't think I had the right to do it, given my love of alcohol. We married and built a house together. Her daughter didn't like me at first, but we bonded the second I bought her a PS5. She is a gamer. We jokingly say, these are my genes. These are my genes? Does he... Oh, he probably means I was born to be a gamer. Like it's in my DNA. Like neither her mom nor her dad likes it. My wife has gotten really good at pretending though, but I return the favor by pretending that I like horses. Don't worry, she won't find this. She can hardly use the computer or printer. Hey, Kelso? Yeah, hey, can you do the thing?
All right.
Every year, my wife and stepdaughter visit his grave the day that it happened. In the beginning, I asked her if she wanted me out of the house that day, because I can understand that they need time for themselves. The third year, they asked me to drive them. I waited in the car. We went to a restaurant afterwards, and it was very silent. I had no idea what to talk about. The thing is, I'm incredibly happy. I was gifted with a family I love. I'd given up on it. I really had. But I feel incredible guilt, because a good man had to die for my happiness. Sorry. They give me chills. Oh my God. So once every 3 months, I visit his grave on my own and talk to him. They don't know it, and I have no intention of telling them. I thank him and tell him about his wife and his daughter and his parents if I happen to know something about them. But they have trouble with me. They are cordial, but I can see it in their faces when I bring my daughter or come and get her. He's calling her his daughter now. Stop it. It shouldn't be me, and nothing will ever change that. Today is the day they will visit him, when my wife comes from work and my daughter is home from school. I think I will visit him in the next few days and tell him about this post. Tell him that other people knew he existed and he did an amazing job.
I was very heartened by this story. Yeah, I cried too. Because we hear so many stories about how when the next partner comes into the house, we've heard he wants to, or she wants to get rid of the partner, the one who died. And, they're insecure. They think they can't live up to the deceased partner. Just in this one, he had a humble gratitude. Just in that way, he wanted to keep the biological father alive. And no, actually, he really meant these are my genes. He meant he had a connection with the daughter, with something that his biological parents didn't. That her biological parents didn't. And yeah, they couldn't understand it. He did understand gaming. That's what I heard in that. I didn't hear it the other way. But I knew that there were enough holes in the story of, okay, how did they get from fuck buddies to being married? Like, I don't know. I'm glad it turned out the way it did, and I am curious as to what Theus is going to say.
I'm not saying a word until Theus is done.
Well, Marlon, you can go ahead, man.
No.
All right, so congratulations on the man for overcoming his addiction. That's good.
Yes.
Actually, he never said he did overcome his addiction.
Well,
let's be very clear
yeah.
about that. So we don't know if we have a situation where he still is an alcoholic. I mean, they say you're always an alcoholic. I don't really like that so much, but okay. Anyway, let's say he's still alcoholic, and then you got her who has issues with prescription pain medication or something. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
right. So, this is really not the makings of a healthy environment. You got two people battling addiction, hanging out with each other. That's okay. But anyway,
How
yeah,
common is that?
huh?
And I bet that's more common than we would like to admit.
Just because it's common. I mean, everybody's chasing demons, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not a good combination.
I,
Then you got okay. One of the things he said that kind of, I don't know, it just landed wrong for me. Well, first of all, the guy who was doing the talking, I think it's because he was just trying to absorb it in real time as he was reading or whatever. But it really wasn't that complicated. When he said that the child was with her mother, he was meaning the child was with the woman's mother. She was with her grandma, right? That's what that meant. Like, you know. So that's why the child wasn't in the car when the accident happened. So yeah, that's cool, but that's just clarifying a point. But the other thing was, a good man had to die for my happiness. Dude, you need to it ain't all about you, homie. A good man died because of the carelessness of someone like you. Okay? So it wasn't, this isn't like you're the central character and God set up some other actors and this one had to die so that your story could continue to grow. No. Fortunately, it worked out to where you and her could come together after the fact and establish a happy home, and you found a way to connect with your stepdaughter. That's wonderful. But I just find that way too egomaniacal to be like, a good man had to die for me to be happy. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I ain't like that. And that kind of thought process, which I've had in the past, so that's why I picked up on it. That kind of thought process is just, it's dangerous because the world's wrapped around you at this point. So, yeah, I know y'all seem like it was real nice and touching. He come to the cemetery and sit there and to, you know, real talk, homie. Let's just say I was in the grave, and I could hear what you were saying. Hey, partner, I don't need to hear from you about you and my old lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, homie. But whatever. I mean, it's a nice little Lifetime movie. So that was cool. Now, I ain't got a whole lot to say about this one because it involved a child who lost her father and ended up with a good stepfather. So that's always positive in my book. But the rest of it, I ain't like that.
Yeah, one other thing that I was more into the positive side, but the mentioning of a high functioning alcoholic, I don't know how much he continued to drink, you know, how much is a part of his now daily life. I do not know.
Yeah,
But I do know the workings of a high functioning alcoholic. My biological father was one, and he would, you know, got to a point where he needed a couple of sips of alcohol to stay functioning, and went to work that way. Came to get me from school that way. I mean, I could tell you
nature
stories.
of addiction.
Yes, it very much is. There are things that happen that I would never wish upon any girl growing up, let alone son. I wouldn't wish it on a child. that I really hope never come into play.
Agreed.
But
That's
those
all I'm saying.
words,
It's just
high
like
functioning, that
it's a
scared me a
troubling
little.
combination, right? Because he never said we both got treatment and now we're in recovery. I mean, but that just
Right.
wasn't part of this story. Like that wasn't part of the story, so that's probably why it wasn't brought up. But hopefully they did have treatment and they are in recovery because
That'd be good ending.
you can be a really cool stepdad and you can give her the love that having a father in the house she needs. But she's still seeing you, if you're not in recovery, she's still seeing you self-medicate. She still sees the difference in your personality, even if you're never like, because everybody who's an alcoholic doesn't become violent, right? But if you're an addict, there's a reason why you're an addict. Your personality shifts when you're not medicated or inebriated or whatever. So she's watching that roller coaster, even if it's not negatively impacting her, it is negatively affecting her because it shifts the view of reality. Okay, so that's the other thing that goes in there. And we don't really know much about mom except for mom thought that she could take the medication and get home.
And
Probably because she was doing it all by herself and she thought this made sense and she didn't feel like she was really impaired. And so she drove home medicated with the equivalent of being on a medicated buzz, which messes up your response time. It messes up your peripheral vision, all that. And accident happened. There you go. So, yeah, I'm just, overall, good story. I found reasons to say things about it. But yeah, overall it's good because I'm just partial to children having a good childhood. That's a big thing for me. But those other red markers, man, they make me worried that she's truly having as good a childhood as he's painting it to be.
Right.
Okay.
Come on, Marlon, tell us about the rainbows.
Here's what I'm going to say about this story. I'm actually going to pull a Thea's. Surprisingly, I did not find this story as emotional as the guy that was reading it made it out to be. And I say that because I know a story that was to me. So yeah, being human, I was comparing stories. And I remember the story of the woman who was dating a guy who they lost their mom, or married to a guy who lost their mom, which it may have been dating. And the guy had 2 younger sons, and she took it upon herself to start a tradition. Well, they had a tradition before she came into the picture, and she stepped back and let the tradition go. And as time went on, she became part of the tradition. And as time goes on, she started a tradition when it came to the death of the 2 kids and the 2 kids' mom, the husband's late wife. And the tradition was, we're going to hold your mother's / your late wife's memory by dressing up and going to the grave and having a few words by making her favorite dish on the anniversary of her death. It was her, it's an old story, Anna, but it just really
I remember this story.
And it was more of a, I do not want you to ever. This guy was coming off as what you were saying. It's not about you. And the wife that I'm talking about, or girlfriend, was saying, I'm going to show you this. It's not about me because I'm making you remember she was your mother.
Well, they both did the same thing. Like literally, no, seriously. Like,
No,
remember, my criticism was
that,
because I was actually pointing out negatives on purpose. But they basically, that story, I'm glad you brought it up because it's really about the same thing. First thing they did was acknowledge that there was someone here, and I'm not going to intrude. I'm going to support. I'm not going to intrude. Then over time, I'm going to participate by like just showing up, but I'm not going to get involved with what you do. Then as time goes on from there, this is my family too now, and I owe respect to the person who helped make this all possible for me. So then it became our family engaging and showing that respect. It was literally the same thing. It was just that one was the husband's point of view and the other one was the wife's. So I actually liked that part. I think the way they did it was good. I was being silly when I was talking about, well, not even really being silly because really real talk. I don't want you to come and talk to me. But that was, you know, more lighthearted part for me. Yeah, that part was weird for me, Parker.
I don't even know how to feel about that, so I'm not even going to.
Yeah. Could be bad. Could be poor word choice. Could be how he views it.
And I did make sure that I put at the beginning of the video that English is not his first
Oh, it's
language.
not?
No.
Oh, never mind. Okay. I thought I was going to Billy from Alabama, man. I'm
falling through.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. He was. That's what it says in the beginning.
Because even when he said, and she would come and we would hook up, well, we have to remember in America, hook up means, you know.
No, it meant that here too.
I don't know. He could have said hook up like we hooked up at a bar.
Yeah,
we hooked up at a club.
You're right.
I took that as knocking boots.
I took it as
it's the American version. When we say hook up, let's hook up. We know knocking boots. In another country, hook up mean, hey, let's hook up at the club.
Yeah,
I agree. That's very possible. And in this case, Marlon, I think you're probably right compared to me and Anna. But I know what I immediately thought of.
Yeah. Look what country you're in. Hook up.
They were having fun on the slip and slide, is what I heard.
Yeah. Oh, good. Tracy, good night. Thank you for coming out tonight. I appreciate it.
Tracy.
Good night. Have a good week. I appreciate it. I didn't catch on to the Book of Faces thing, meaning Facebook, until a few seconds later. Yeah, Facebook, and I don't even know why. It's becoming a joke now because I thought, oh God, censorship is so bad you can't even say Facebook, but I think they're just making it a joke now.
My mother used to call it Book of Faces all the time.
The Book of Faces, the Mart of Walls. You know, I think they just make
the Mart of Walls. I've never heard that one. That's good.
Yeah, the Mart of Walls. What was Target's oh God, I'm looking at the
Target
word.
was Target.
Target?
Yeah, but there was like Target was one of them.
Because the Bullseye, I never heard
the Bullseye. Thank you. The Bullseye store or the Bullseye Mall was Target.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never heard that one.
The Bullseye. I used to work at the Bullseye Mall, and everybody was like,
I used to work at Target, and people, it's true. Like the Target Bullseye is literally that's the name of it. What happened?
What's going on?
Oh,
the House of Red.
The Red House.
Oh God.
But in case y'all didn't know, that little dog that Target always has,
okay,
his name is Bullseye.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Well,
he's a good dog.
All right, everybody, it's getting late. Let's go ahead and knock this out. Foxy's videos of the week. think I may need to create a new segment just called Talent Show, just to show people's special talent.
That would be awesome.
So this is maybe the first of a new segment, and I just named it Talent.
That made my fingers hurt. Oh, that was so cool.
That was, Theas, you are not going to mess up my joy. That was cool as crap.
Oh, that was incredibly talented and creative.
That was.
The hell made you realize you could do that?
Right?
I'm leaving you with way too much time alone in your room.
There's a joke in there. That's
People would pay money to see that. Not a lot of money. It's so funny. That was really good.
Oh, no, that's what Thea said. You spending too much time in your room. There is a sexual innuendo in that.
No, that's not what I was saying.
No, he was
Don't
just
leave your kids unobserved that long, man. I mean, at some point, somebody had to walk in the room and be like, "Son, why is there a what are you?" Let me see your hands.
Imagine how long someone had to practice that.
That's the
the
girl
point.
who do like really creative artwork, like really, really fast and stuff. Like these are children who have really amazing talents.
yeah.
And imagination.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My brain ain't wired for that one. I don't know.
Ooh.
Neither of my fingers, cause I don't think I can do that.
I mean, when I see somebody paint and it looks like they're just putting a few blobs of color, brushing it out, and then doing some white to do the northern lights, I really swear like I could do that. And it's never as simple as it looks.
I challenge you on something else.
Creatives are amazing.
I can challenge you on something else, and I'm gonna see if I can find a video before the next show. Take everything that you just said. Do not change anything that you just said. The blobs, the splattering, the smearing, and everything else. And at the very end, you still have no idea what this picture is until they turn it right side up, and it is a picture. So this dude that I saw was so creative. He painted a picture in that abstract form upside down.
Yeah, creatives, they see the world different. They have a different, their brain works different. It's so cool. But you know what? Real talk, one of the reasons y'all don't see a lot of videos from me, and one of the reasons I just hate recording. I hate sitting still. Sitting still to do it is hard for me. But the other part is, no matter what I put out, it would never look as good for y'all as I thought it was going to be in my head before I did it. So then I'm just like, nah, this is terrible. It's terrible.
But
So,
I honestly think, and I don't even want to go on a tangent, but I will anyway since I'm already in the middle of the tangent. You do realize when we do these videos, I don't rewatch them.
other than when you're editing, probably.
Right.
When the last time you see me do an edit?
It's been a little bit, but
I don't edit the videos anymore. I don't rewatch the videos anymore because I feel like we are talented enough to carry this show the way we carried it. And I know it's slower than normal than everything else, but the breaking down and everything else, it's not getting numbers either.
I think, and I disagree there. I actually think when you started putting in the segments and giving people 5 and 10 minute segments, that's where I think the memberships and all the subscriptions actually started going up, because somebody sees 3 hours on the ticker. Damn, man, please.
Yeah, I'll start back.
I know I ain't hitting play. Soon as I see 3 hours,
I think what I'm going to start
I
doing,
will.
and I may have to start paying Parker to do it, is what some people are doing now is they're not breaking down their videos. What they're doing is putting timestamps on it. So they'll know this is what we're talking about on this point. This is what we're talking about on this point, and so on and so forth. So
Nothing else.
yeah,
yeah, but I think that's more for like educational content or structured.
the Reddit stories that I got some of them are timestamped.
I get that. But what I'm just saying what it's more for. Because someone who wants to know about, Joe Biden dropping out, right? They're interested in the first 30 minutes or possibly that first hour and a half, but more likely the first 30 minutes.
Right.
And then you cut pieces, just like how we consume things. Like, how do we watch the convention? The convention rolled for 2.5, 3 hours, but what do? We watch commentary
a little bit.
It lasts 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't tell you what to do because it's your time, and that's a lot of time that you invest. And I personally really do appreciate it. But I just don't sell yourself short because I think that what you were doing actually increased your numbers and visibility.
I think so.
Well, maybe sometime this winter I'll start back, but I also know that, and Thea's forgot, but I'm not going to ever let him forget, is that we had another project that we're supposed to be working on. and I need to be focusing more on that, so we'll see.
My money got funny, bro.
Yeah.
What?
Speaking of it, just so you know, Anna.
Once you bought the fancy chair?
No, my money got funny because every time I turn around, my family creates a new expense, and it comes from me. It don't go nowhere. It comes right out of me. And it ain't but so many nickels and dimes before you start running out of quarters. But this is just this is a side story, just like a little testimony moment. So today, Anna, I went to my favorite place in the whole wide world, Chipotle, and I was getting ready to buy food for all these people at my house. But I walk in, and this young man, got to be about 6'3", tall dude. He catches me in the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, do you have some dollars or whatever to help me out? I just want to get something to eat." And part of me is like, "No, I ain't got no money to give you no." But then the other part of me was like, "Yeah, let me give you the cash I got." But I only had $1, right?
Right.
So I gave him the $1, and he was so grateful. He was like, "Thank you so much, blah, 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 blah." And then I go to walk to go get in line. And then I'm like, nah, something says go get this boy. So I go back out, and I get him. And I'm like, "Now, you said you hungry, right?" And he's like, "Yes, sir." Very mannerable young man.
No.
And I took in the view, and I was like, I don't know, either he could be bumming for food or he could just be bumming. So I'm like, "Come on, I'll buy you something to eat." And no lie, he's like, "If it's okay with you," and he was like, "Thank you," and all that stuff. But he's like, "If it's okay with you, would you mind if we got something from the store next door?" Right? So the place next door is like a sandwich salad spot. So like, I'm about to eat some really unhealthy food from here in Chipotle, and you asking to get something from the sandwich spot. Oh yeah, come on.
Was that not the story that we had last week?
Yes, it was. Yes, it
That
was.
was the story we had last week when the guy was at McDonald's and the guy was like, "I appreciate you offering to buy me something, but can you go to the deli next door because it's more filling?"
Oh, that's that old story. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so it was like.
But what was cool though, the reason why I bring this up is for those of you out there who help support our United Core, because I used our money to do that, right? And these are the kinds of things that that we could do, because that's what hit me. I was like, yo, we got, we ain't got a lot of money, but I can feed you. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point of it. Yeah.
Right. So just saying, put that out there in the atmosphere, man. Sometimes you don't know who needs your help. I didn't give him no speech. Other than getting his name so the lady would give him his food when I walked out, I didn't ask him nothing. Right?
Mhm.
Just sometimes it's good to just help somebody, man. $5 you get that back. $10 you get it back. Don't worry about it.
And be honest, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not doing this to blame people at all, because I get it. If you look on the dark side of the world, I'm not even gonna blame them for the first time ever. I'm not just gonna blame America. Around the world, so much. The reason I put positive story of the week was actually to troll Theus. Just in case anybody don't know, it was literally to troll Theus, because when I put a good story up, Theus found the dark side of the story, the kidnapping grandmother and everything else, which he still brings up to this day. So we automatically, when it comes to homelessness, we automatically go to the dark side of, I ain't gonna give you my money, you just go drink it up and smoke it up and shoot it up and everything else. And I challenge you to say this, to say to yourself, so to speak. You spend $5 a day, and you have no idea where you spent it. A bag of chips, chewing gum, soda, snacks.
I don't spend $5 a day.
No, I mean $5, period. Just like I would never give you $5 because that's the most of $5. Shoot, man, I ain't giving you $5. Really?
Yeah, but honestly, for a lot of us,
at the very least, you spend about $3.50, $4 on coffee.
Yeah, when I stop and think about it, Marlon, it's an excellent point. And hey, everybody, from what Marlon just said, for real, man, $10 out of the entire month, that is not a lot of money for most of us. If it is, I understand. If it's not, please help us. Please go to ourunitedcore.com and consider joining our Patreon, because in order for us to do some of the things that I was just telling you about, we need money. We need money, so please. But no, like what Marlon was saying, like on a typical day for me, if I'm out and about, it is nothing for me to spend $20 a day. A day. When I stop and look at the amount of money that I just spend, and I ain't got a lot of money, y'all, but somehow I can find a way to make that work.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like there are things that we can do. There's things we can do.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't have to be big. And it doesn't always have to be money. Money's easy because it's a quick stand-in. But side note, if you are near a school, especially our high schools, and you want to find a way to help this generation a little bit, almost guarantee you, ask the school clinic or ask about the band. These are things that I'm near and dear to. But just ask where you can help. And next time you go to the grocery store and you buy some paper towels, buy one more pack. Matter of fact, you didn't even got to ask the school. Any school, elementary, middle, or high. When you go to the store and buy you some paper towels, buy an extra paper towel, just stack them up, single rolls, however you do it. And then one day just go to school and drop them off. They will be incredibly grateful. If they need it.
All right, everybody. Next video, Theus would understand this better than me, and Theus understand this better than anything. It only takes one word.
Hey, baby, what's wrong?
I just don't feel like doing anything.
Because I was thinking we could take a trip somewhere. We have some points we could do.
Let's do this.
What about the kids?
They'll be fine.
If I tell my wife we're going on a trip, she'd be down. But I tell you what would have derailed that whole thing, and I have yet to figure out how to avoid this because I ain't got there yet. Hey, baby, what's wrong? I'm asking you what is concerning you. You hear the word wrong. Nothing wrong with me. I didn't say you were defective. I just asked.
How about changing the sentence is, hey, honey, what's your concern?
But they don't, I ain't got no concern. Because see, it's something about, and it's a moving target. It's a moving target. So, it's like, because to me, what's wrong is just like common. It's like saying, hi, how are you? But that could just be me and my lady. Because she don't like that word.
Next video. And I put this up, and unfortunately, Foxy is already gone to bed, but this is why I let Foxy drive all the time. Literally, not joking. This is not hyperbole. This is not Marlon trying to be funny. This is the reason why if I'm in the car with Foxy, she drives. Because I'm not doing this anymore with her.
Yeah! Jesus, babe, you almost hit him.
I can't relate to that.
I can. I'm nowhere near that person. Literally nowhere near that person. And oh my God, it's a red light. Yes, Foxy, 2 blocks up. I see it. The people behind me. There is no danger.
That must be how my wife feels about me being in the car. Because I don't know. I don't know. Literally 20 years. I think she's driven 5 times.
Nope. I'm not doing it. We in the car together. You drive. I'm not doing this. I drove the last.
I don't even know what my passenger seat feels like.
I drove the last 40 minutes to Washington, and when I tell you, Foxy did not shut up the whole 40 minutes. Even my kids was telling Foxy, "Ma, shut up. He's doing fine. Leave him alone. He's not doing anything. Slow down, speed up, go around that car. Don't you dare go around that car." It was the whole way. Our last argument in Washington was I turned a small curve to let the guy walk across. The small curve was you almost hit that guy. She drove and literally almost hit the guy. We had a conversation about if he walks into the car, then that's his problem. There are signs, just in case anybody does not know this, because it's the first time I actually saw this, because it's not where I'm from. There are signs in Washington, D.C. that literally says pedestrians have the right of way. It's a Washington, D.C. law. We explained to her, Foxy, they're telling you it's a law that pedestrians have the right of way. But there's no law that says they walk into the car. Nobody walks into the car 40 miles per hour, Foxy. That's virtually impossible. So I need you to slow down. Well, they need to see the car go. We back and forth.
I figured out what that sound is. It's your microphone.
Is it my microphone?
Yeah, like if you get really loud or maybe your hair brushes against it, it does that sound.
I whip my hair back and forth. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And since we have this weekend off, I just don't care. Last video of the night. Hurry up and get ready.
Hey, we're leaving in like 10 minutes. We need to go.
Just give me a second. I'll be ready.
Okay, just hurry up. We need to leave in 5 minutes, like out the door in 5 minutes. You have got to get
I'll be
ready.
ready. Don't worry. Go do your thing. I'll be fine.
Okay, well then hurry up. Oh my god. What? How did you?
Hey, we have to be out the door in 1 minute.
Don't rush me. Oh my god, you are always.
Take your time.
Sorry, but I'm the one that's always late in my family.
Mhm.
I only do this in full transparency. I've been a better husband. I've been a better father. And there's gonna be some demons that I'm gonna have to get over. But yeah, Marlon, get ready. Marlon, get ready. And now I got to the point where Marlon, we need to hurry up and get on out of here. I'm dressed. What are you talking about? Oh, you are dressed, aren't you? You ready to go? Here, let me smoke this last cigarette. Why are you on me and you're not ready? There's always a last something with you. So stop getting on me about getting ready when you got a last cigarette. Let me watch this one last video. Hey, we're gonna stop this, okay? We're not gonna play this game. We're not gonna do this. You're not gonna rush me to get in the military. To say this, in the military, there is a saying, hurry up and wait. It is absolutely true. Not hyperbole. They will make you get into your BDUs, your camouflage. Get into your BDUs, line up, straight in formation, and everything else. They will rush you to do all of that. Like, I need you to do everything that I get dressed and everything else within seconds for you to stand in formation and wait. And wait. And wait. So that's why we came up with hurry up and wait. Because we just want to, see you. I don't know what was the point of this.
Builds team.
Yeah, we didn't like each other.
Didn't matter. Builds a team. You ain't got to like each other. You ain't got to like each other.
It didn't build a team, though.
You did it.
Yeah, we did it because we were scared. By the fourth week, we wasn't scared no more. Hurry up and wait. Yeah, we'll get there. Get there when we get there.
Okay.
No, I'm not joking. By the fourth week, it was only 6 weeks. So by the four and a half weeks of
So they had no consequence for you not mustering?
No.
That's the problem with y'all, with your drill instructor then.
The drill instructor wasn't even there. We got cut. I'm not gonna get into that story because it's time.
Well, I didn't serve like you did, but I'm just saying my dad's Army, so there was very clear consequences. You did not muster and be ready on that line.
Oh no! When you first get there, it was hell on wheels. Like Anna, when I tell you, your hell started off the bus. Like they're yelling at you to get off the bus. Did I fit Anna?
We are running a little long.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get up out of here. Anna's internet maybe ain't going down. So again, just in case you don't know, even though I got one person watching, so everybody else dropped off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate this. I appreciate Anna. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
All right, so we got our candidate. Let's go.
By the way, if you want to replace Kamala with Gavin Newsom, I'm not mad at you. I'm really not.